Okay, this is good news. So we have Guizhao. Guizhao leading the charge. It's very confusing for me. But I'm glad he is. He gets something done. The airburst does no damage to him. He's going to try and move the vehicle out just slightly. Go is another team trying to pinch it over towards this one. But they're recalling him. They're pulling him back. Carrillo has managed to get himself knocked over towards that northwest side. They're looking for the save on this one. Quick smoke out the window. Guizhao doing a lot for the team right now.
Yeah, it was RRQ who managed to find a knock over towards Carrillo, and he will need a little bit of a pickup. If they hadn't happened, they could have put more pressure forwards, and I think that might have been the end of Nongshim Red Force. As we hop back in towards Danxing, you've got Alola now at loggerheads with 7-2-1, who were able to crash in successfully. Alola, as well, similarly capable of getting in and amongst it. But everybody's holding their corner. Next circle, very likely to push a lot of this one out. And I feel like AGAL may have the better time of it. A nade over the road from R3B is able to connect. And that opens the door for Alola, or at least it gives them time to get the res. Some more damage, and now they have to hold off Fury on an off angle.
Hello, Beauty, brother. Ming, lava to the western light unit.
Head over towards that eastern side. Yangon Galacticos, defending champions, right in the center of it.
Chỉ về chỉ là bà biểu lúc biểu mà mình thì bắt chỉ tay biểu hòa mình sẽ đầu hòa đi là. Bắt chỉ tay biểu nắm này rồi, giờ này mình live stream chào ở bên lúc. Châu này hiểu ý. Ấy giờ shotgun đã bao sen đầu hiểu ý. Shotgun đã bao sen đầu này, bông bao qua lại hiểu ý. Tí. Shotgun này về bên tí hòa hiểu ý, còn con tung chú ta kì.
Understands the demon inside that building and he needs exercising.
Cũng nào đánh chào rồi rồi, bao nhiêu rồi mình what the fuck.
There was a moment there, it felt like maybe Malik was going to do something magnificent, but was put down. Alola losing 3 of their players. 11 eliminations with 4 alive. They would have had a great time, but now it's Quick against 3 from Furia. He's already managed to find Eagles, and now Ayala and Chief are bearing down upon him. There goes the flush. And he's still got a little bit more to say. The end of the story, not quite yet.
Nó quay lý luôn được chèn thì phải tốn tí. Rất tí mấy chèn rồi ngã, hùa tao lúc để chỉ chi về. Okay.
We'll have to swing around the side here. Furia looking to pinch Quick. Give him the old do-si-do.
He is taking a turn.
Oh my god, he's taking off, dude.
And he's looking for more, layering down the lead, but it's just off
target
in the stream.
Tiêu tài nó đã tính tiêu tài cố tí mấy chèn rồi. Nó là tính sắp tiêu tài cố tí mấy chèn rồi.
On the western flank, go down to go. Their dynamism, their attitude in this game is looking nasty.
Ô, có thể làm việc support rồi, support nhẹ vậy.
And this is what you want to see.
Rồi, cái con này tiêu trộm, tiêu. Cho con nó tiêu trộm. Thì anh lên support nhỉ. Support câu này. Con cho con mấy chèn rồi. Nó thi đấy giờ mèo tiêu tài nó lên câu thì siêu shit tí mấy chèn rồi giờ. Shit tí mấy chèn rồi quái gì mà tí thêm. Quái gì xấu nè mà ý gì. Ý sẽ bên tổng còn nó con chèn gì hết. Tổng còn chèn gì hết. Con du lịch.
I feel like at the moment the story of this game is Goat Team going God mode on this western flank, rotating in, crashing into Ulf, disengaging from Danxing, taking the initiative to move around that western side. You highlighted it, you said it's what you wanted to see. Eagle wants to see red as he's spraying the shot.
Này, nó đây là team tiêu toa bị nó là con này về chèn rồi. Con này team về chèn rồi vậy, con này đồng phải là con này team về chèn rồi.
Said yesterday they were able to get themselves a nice little chicken dinner at the end of the day. We expect so much more from this squad.
Last support mà chịu vậy.
PMI.
Con dám phiền gì vậy? Tí, miếng ma lưới.
Been a bit of a rocky start for them.
Miếng ma lưới toa là mà tiêu vậy. À tí ra bảo mà tiêu mà đâu có vậy. Miếng ma lưới vụ nào Kali nào mà toa nhìn miếng ao gì. Rồi tiêu toa vậy. Sau tí mấy chèn rồi đấy vậy. Sau tí mấy chèn rồi đấy.
Alpha 7 is taking heavy casualties on this northern edge, but it's Yangon Galacticos got themselves in towards these buildings.
Chicken nhà nó to sẽ win thôi là.
Fast on their approach too.
Chicken nhà này quá.
That early push that really solidified this position. They've been playing a 2-2 for a long time. RRQ just hasn't given them much grief whatsoever though. but I would genuinely be happy to see a GOAT win.
On that eastern side, RRQ being a little bit tentative. As you say, not putting too much pressure onto things. Yangon Galacticos with only 3 elims at the moment, though, with 6 teams alive. Going down here would just not be a good enough performance for them, frankly, because they do need to jump up towards that 6th place to keep themselves in the running to defend their title here at the PMWC at EWC. And they are 2-2 split right now. GOAT team resetting, lining up their cannons, trying to find a broadside. The question is, where do they go? Or are they going to wait for other teams to move around this one?
6點咩陣內，6點咩陣內，6點咩陣內，意思。
Done a lot in terms of isolating teams, in terms of moving this circle and being a playmaker within it.
They've pretty much been the sole playmaker, in my opinion, in this match.
နောက်တစ်ခုကျွန်တော်သိကြတယ် grenade ပစ်လိုက်လို့ရှိရင်လေတရားဟိုထိမှန်သိတိုင်း
It just feels like they're waiting for other teams to struggle against the circle.
မဆော့တာကြာပြီဆိုတော့ပတ်ကြီးကမဆော့တာလုံးဝကြာသွားပြီဆိုတော့ဘာမှဟိုဟာနားမသိတော့ဘူးမမတ်မီတော့မမတ်မီတော့ grenade ထုလိုက်လို့ရှိရင်လေထိမှန်သိလားဒေးတော့ထိသွားပြီလူပါသိတယ်မလားခုမှလိုက်ဆိုတော့စကန်တော့မှန်လို့ရအေးရမနောက်တစ်သိန်းပြုတ်ပြီနောက်တစ်သိန်းပြုတ်ပြီအဲ့မှာ9ကောင်ပဲကျန်တော့တယ်9ကောင်ပဲကျန်တော့တယ်အမောင်9သိန်းပဲကျန်တော့တယ်
will take out the remainder of Wolves. It's a weird
9သိန်းပဲကျန်တော့တယ်
very very weird end game.
Yeah, so much.
ဝိုင်းကြီးတယောက်တော့ဝိုင်းဖြစ်စီးကလောက်တယ်
Dancing so early on, but they are now looking for it to continue out in the open and knock over towards the Yangon Galacticos.
ဟိုဘက်ဗတေးဖြစ်နေရမှာပြဘင်းကြီးအဲ့ပြနေရတော့ဟာတော့what the fuck ဟိုကသွေးထိုင်ဖြစ်တာပြ
to get pushed over the hill and with an opening they might be able to find something. RRQ descend from that eastern side.
4သိန်းပဲကျန်တော့တယ် okay
Head to head 2 versus 4.
4သိန်းပဲကျန်တော့တယ်အာကျူပဲအာကျူရီက4ကောင်ကျန်သေးတယ် what the fuck ဘာကောင်4ကောင်ကျန်နေ
That's going to be pick upable.
ဝိုင်းကြီးကတော့ဝိုင်းကြီးလည်း4ယောက်ကျန်သေးတယ် okay
That's a real word.
Pick upable potentially.
ဝိုင်းကြီးအထက်ရကွန်ပေါင်းနေမှာကွာ AC ပဲရောင်း
Put him in a vehicle, moving forward. Loot crate in play here, but as I told you before, it's very open. Emergency.
ဇုံနေလည်းပါနေတော့မဇုံနေပါမှာတော်တော်ပါနေရရောင်း
Alpha 7 has to figure out something and figure it out right now. Yangon Galacticos on this 2-2 split. They should have been able to realize this by now. I don't know if they have any vehicles. They need to smoke train over towards one of these buildings. A 3v2, very doable here, and will close off the sight lines from the rest of the Yangon Galacticos squad.
A nade, a little opening, and Alpha 7 will descend. Maybe even GOAT team could crash on towards it.
မသိဘူးရမ်းပြစ်ကြတာလေတူတူပဲအိမ်မီနေဟုတ်လား arena သိရဟုတ် arena ဘယ်လိုသိပါမလဲ arena ဘုံထီပါဘယ်လိုသိပါဘုံထီပါလည်းမသိဘူးပို့ဆိုတော့
Spotted though from across the way and will be immediately flushed. So Alpha 7 down to 2 very, very quickly.
180 ထီပါမသိဘူးလေ
And how do you make this one work? Shots now being levied over towards GOAT team on the western side. But they can't move. It's a stalemate.
RRQ holding out GOAT team holding out RRQ, you're right. Alpha 7.
အခုမှဒုတိယနေပဲရှိရအောင်မသိဘူးသွေးတက်တက်နဲ့လောတီသွားပြီကွာ
Yangon Galacticos, but RRQ just have
ပြန်
these
ကဲလို့ရနိုင်သေးတယ်ပြန်ကဲလို့ရနိုင်တယ်
broadsides.
ပါခေါ်
Not for a single second
အပါ
have
ခေါ်
they
မှာ
just
တိုက်ရွယ်
Alpha 7 move freely here. It has massively slowed them down. I think they were coming into this end game with very few smokes available. Zone 9 now just hits. And we will be closing to center.
ကောင်းနေအကောင်ဒီစုံလေးကက်နေအောင်ဟိုကလည်းလောက်မယ်
Has to be a big one, but I think at this point in time, it is the final.
နှစ်ယောက်ရလိုက်ပြီနှစ်ယောက်ရလိုက်တာဟာ3သိန်းပဲကျန်တော့တယ်3သိန်းပဲကျန်တော့တယ် okay
Go team is just looking
အာဂျူလီလာ post နေအာဂျူလီလာ post နေပြီ
They genuinely have looked better than
ကောင်းနေရောက်ပြီ
A real wild crash out from RRQ as they try and mount up, get across the open ground and only leave 2 of themselves alive.
စုံလေးဟိုကနေသွေးဖြစ်ဖို့ချိန်မပြီးတော့ဟိုကသွေးဖြစ်ဖို့မပြီးတော့မိဝါသိတယ်အေးပြီးမိဝါသိတယ်ရောက်ပြီ
Straight into the firing line, and that's the opener that RRQ were looking for. The blue zone pushes them further. They have to get out of the warehouse, but the blue zone's choking them.
Yangon Galacticos starting to have to leave here.
မသိနေ
Squeeze the pressure on.
ကောင်းနေရောက်စကန်တော့ရမှာချစ်ကန်ရနိုင်နေရောက်ပြီဒါပေမဲ့ကိုရီဘက်ကတယောက်ပဲကျန်တော့လားဟာ
60 bullets in a
မာနဲ့တယောက်ပဲကျန်တော့လား
And
မာနဲ့
then
တယောက်ပဲကျန်တော့တာ
over towards Romeo. The blue zone's going to force him over the edge. He
အာ
drops
ဒါပေ
down.
မဲ့မရတော့လေသူကဒါပေမဲ့ကောင်းပါလေဘာလဲဆိုမရတော့လေသူကဒီတိုင်းစုံကလည်းလာနေဟိုကလည်းဖြစ်ဒီတိုင်းပိုစင်ဟိုနဲ့ပိုစရှင်တာနေဆို ဒီလောက်ပါ
They deserve this match more than anyone else. There was such slow gameplay.
လိုင်းပြောင်းမပြောင်း brother ဟိုဒါကျွန်တော်ဆော့မှာမဟုတ် brother ဒါပြန်ဆော့မှာမဟုတ်သူကဒီတိုင်းမြန်မာကြီးလာအားပြီးတာ
into this match.
မြန်မာကြီးလာအားပြီးတာလာအားပြီးရပြော
You really couldn't.
They climbed themselves up to the top of that mountain, and it was a tough road for them. Their positioning on the south side, as you were saying, they were the only
အာ
playmakers
ဒီလာနှောက်
in
သွား
this
တာ
circle.
ဟုတ်တယ်
Their
ဒါပေမဲ့
moves
ခီးရပါတယ်ခီး
the
ရ
decision
ခီးမနေရ
not to try and just stumble
Amaka
forward,
hoa phit
trip
pai.
towards Danching like everybody else. Instead,
ကျွန်တော်ထင်တာ
they
အ
stepped
ဆင့်ကတော်
back,
တော်တက်သွားပြီလေ
looked
ဟိုဟာ
at
ဖြစ်တာ
the
နဲ့
bigger
ဆို
picture, and they took a big chicken dinner.
There was just so much willingness as well to just give Yangon Galacticos those locations. Playing a 2-2 split there, for the amount of time we're in that location, you deserve to be crashed upon.
နောက်ပွဲဒီလိုမျိုးသာထပ်ပြဒီလောက်လောက်ပဲကွာနောက်ပွဲအများကြီးမလို့ဒီလောက်လောက်ပဲဆက်ဖြစ်ကုန်တက်ပြီ
Because there is such passive gameplay around them in that location. Everyone is so afraid to get third party right now. And again, that's survival
Smile
stage
တော့
shot.
ကိုဆိုး
That's
တာ
what happens. The pressure is on.
အမှန်တိုင်းပြောလို့ရှိရင်ကွာ
Those feelings
ကြည့်ရတာ
need to
တိတ်ပြီးဟိုဟာ
Apparently. Well, yeah, they were just unleashed
ဟို
there. They were allowed
ဟိုဟာမဖြစ်ဘူးကွာတိတ်ပြီးဟိုဟာဗလဲနားမလေသေးဘူးကွာတရားအမှန်တိုင်းပြောတိတ်ပြီးနားမလေဘူးဖြစ်နေငါလေ
I mean, it was particularly RRQ
မနေ့ကမှပြန်စကြည့်ရဆိုတော့ကွာ
around the Yangon Galacticos position.
တိတ်နားမလေဘူးဖြစ်နေရရောက်ကြီး
Didn't push into it, didn't go for those targets until the blue zone forced them to do something that was completely unfavorable to their longer term point scoring prospects.
It's very tentative gameplay right now from Alpha 7. And it's almost
အာအဲ့ကောင်ဒီလောက်ဟိုဘက်ဘီနာလေစပရီးခံဒီဘက်ကလည်းစပရီးခံနေရတာနေကွာ
I saw glimmers.
ကောင်းနေရလှမ်းပြီးတော့မှသူဇုံလာနေဘလို့မှမရတော့ဇုံကလည်းလာနေဟိုကောင်နဲ့ပိုဇရှင်ရကြောအတာကြီးထောက်တာဘာမှလုပ်လို့မရဘူး
I want more of that. Alpha 7 looked genuinely
Position someone
insane
စကားပြောတာ
at the start. But let's hear more from Kalaris.
ဘယ်နှမိနစ်နာရမ
What
သိ
he thinks about Alpha 7.
ဒီပါတော့ပေါက်ဘာညာတာလာကလို့
Again here for the 100th time I am with Revo as always. Let's talk about that game actually. Of course Go Team did get the win, but you guys were incredibly resilient in this game. You actually from the word go E-Arena hunted down Carrillo and then was able to take him down. Of course, then you were able to save and Gizao to be able to get the res off here. But what's going through the team's mind in that point? Because that's a scary prospect when you're in a hot drop in Yulin.
Yeah, I think we know that can happen. Like it can happen with everyone. So we always have a plan B to do anything when that things happens. So we was ready to that, and we did a great match.
တဝဲတဝဲစောက်ကြရဟုတ်တယ်
You told me especially that you were really good under pressure. And that
Chicken.
kind of really exemplifies.
ချစ်ကန်ဘာကဘေးကောင်ရသွားမှမသိဘူးချစ်ကန်ဘေးကောင်ရသွားမှကိုရီစကန်ရပဲသိတယ်
In the late game, you
တ
guys
တင်း
were
မှလည်းမ
able
သိ
to
ဘူး
hold
ကွာ
there
တရား
and able to get the recovery back up to
အဲ့ကောင်တွေရောက်သွားနေတူတယ်
continue things on to eventually. I think you had like 9 limbs in this game as a whole or something like that. So when you go down to the one again and then they're able to recover.
အာ
to a
ကြောက်
great
ဝိုင်းကြီး
scoring
ချစ်ကန်မ
through
ပေး
the
ချင်
team
လို့ဝင်
set
လုံး
at
လိုက်
the
တယ်
moment.
I think like that means to be a Brazilian because you never give up. So we was trying to keep everyone alive. Of course, we lost one, but we are trying to stay
ဂုတ်တီရပါ
safe in that.
ဂုတ်တီရပါ
house. And
တကယ်ဘယ်အတင်းမှကိုရီမသိဘူးကွာသိလားနော်ကိုကြားဘူးလားဆိုအာကြီးတော့ပဲကြားဘူးတယ်ကွာငါဟိုဟာဖြစ်တာဆိုဝိုင်းကြီးပဲသိတယ်ကွာတကယ်ငါဝိုင်းကြီးတသေးပဲကြားလိုက်ဘာမှမသိဘူး
Feeling good for a top 6 today.
feeling good. I know God gonna give it us
ကျန်တဲ့ကောင်တွေအသေးလည်းမသိပါဘူးအကောင်တွေဘယ်လိုမျိုးဖြစ်နိုင်နေလဲဆိုတာလည်းမသိဘူးကွာသိလား
And let's see what's gonna happen.
Message for the fans.
ပြီးတော့ခေါ်နောက်ထပ်ဟိုဟာနောက်ထပ်သိတာဆိုရင်အဲ့အပေါ်ဆုံးရောက်နေ TN ကိုသိရကွာသိလားအကောင်တွေကောင်းတယ်အော်ဘာဖြစ်လဲဆိုတော့မနေ့တုန်းက Game 5 ကော Game 6ကောကျွန်တော်ကြည့်လိုက်တာဆိုအကောင်တွေကောင်းတယ်ဆိုတော့သိရဟိုအောက်ဖက်ကကိုရီးယားကောင်တွေကတော့သုံးစားမရဘူးဆိုတာလည်းသိရအဲ့ဒါလေကိုရီးယားကောင်တွေသုံးစားမရဘူးဆိုလည်းသိရညကြဆော့ပါညကြဆော့မှာဗောဒါဗောညကြဆော့ပါ
Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you. Gamers, hybrid workers, artists. Backing your every move.
ပက်ကြီးကလုံးဝနှစ်တည်အများကြီးကြာနေပြီဗျာဒါဘယ်လောက်ရှိနေပြီတော့ဒါတော့မှဒီနောက်ထပ်ပက်ကြီးဒီလိုမျိုး live တွေလွှင့်မှာမလွှင့်ဘူးဗျာဒါဘာဖြစ်လဲဆိုတော့ဒီမြန်မာကိုဒါသူတို့မြန်မာတွေပါလို့ဒါတွေကိုလာအားပေးနေအရင်နှစ်တွေတုန်းကတော့ဒါတွေလုံးဝမကြည့်ဘူး
Hi, I'm here with FireH from AGAL from the survival stage. I want to ask them a few questions about the tournament overall.
Mobile Legends လည်းတော့အားပေးထားတယ်လी Mobile Legends လည်းတော့အားပေးထားတယ်ဆိုတော့ဒါကိုပတ်ကြည့်ဆိုတော့လည်းအားပေးရမြန်မာရေးပါလို့
through into the final. I wanted to ask you guys if there was any adjustments from the group stage that you could have maybe changed looking back at it to maybe just go directly into the final for the top
ဒါ
5.
ပြီးလူရင်ကောင်းမလားလဲဟုတ်ပြီ
我们现在在胜存赛当中有 AGL 的 Flowfish 给带来我们这次的采访。然后 Flowfish， 首先你们当时小组赛的时候，其实差9分就能直接晋级到决赛了。现在，如果让你去回想一下的话，当时能做出什么样的调整，或者怎么样的进步来相当于能成功的拿下这9分，并且直接进决赛呢？
其实当时知道差9分，其实挺可惜的吧。然后因为那人的圈运其实也算很好的，然后当时也是没打好，心里一直在想，如果少犯点失误的话，
啊，就玩变你 A7 就 A7 咪定玩啲咁類嘅啲套查，
It
啲
was
插邊
a
啲
pretty big disappointment to lose out with just 9 points.
ကို人拿唔嚟好
It was us. I think that like luck was on our side, but we just made a couple of mistakes too many. And looking back, you know, if we only just ironed out some of those mistakes, played a little bit better, I think we could.
နောက်ဆုံးတော့ကိုပဲနားလေလိုက်တယ်ငါနားလေလိုက်နောက်ဆုံးတော့ဟိုဒီဘက်ကဟိုပူသရှင်စောင်းဝန်းတာနေဟိုဖြစ်နေတယ်ဘလူးမတိုးလို့မရတော့ဇုံကြီးကလည်းနောက်ကကြလာပြီအဲ့လိုအချိန်ကြီးတော့နားလေလိုက်
Urban endings can be very difficult for a lot of teams to be able to move through, but AGAL performed it massively.
Arena ဖေးရောဒီလိုပွဲမလုပ်ဘူးပါတဲ့ငါဘာလို့လဲဆိုတော့ Arena ဖေးရောလုံးလို့ရှိရင်လေ creator ဒီလိုမျိုးဟွာမျိုးရွယ်ဖြစ်တာကွာ
A lot of movement. So were there any big challenges?
Arena ကျွန်တော်ကိုရဘာမှနားမလည်ဘူးဖြစ်နေတယ် Arena နဲ့ပတ်သက်လာတော့ကတော့ငါဆရာကြီး
昨天打的最后一张图，因为当时是能上。
Arena နဲ့ပတ်သက်လာတော့ cast ပေးလို့ရတယ်ကွာဒါကြတော့တိတ်နားမလည်တော့ဖြစ်တော့ပတ်ကြည့်ရကွာဘာမှတိတ်ပြီးတော့ကိုရင်းနဲ့အလန်းအရန်ဝေးသွားပြီကွာတရားရန်ဝေးသွားပြီ
危险，但是
ဒီနေ့ကြော်9နှစ်နီးပါဆိုနေရမှာမဟုတ်
一栋楼这样亲过去，
ဘာမှမသိရော
成功的直击了。那能不能跟我们说当时那一张图？
ဘဝတက်တန်းရဲ့
哪一些时刻
4
特
ပုံ
别的危险？
ပုံတစ်ပုံလောက်အဲ့မဲ့4ပုံ
当时
ပုံ
做
5
出了哪一些
ပုံတစ်ပုံလောက်ဟိုမဖြစ်တော့
就是比较亮眼、比较优秀的一些决策呢？
当时的话应该是扎进去的时候风险挺大的吧，然后当时是被两边一直扫，还好没有掉人。然后后面的话就是我们一起抱团吧，然后一步一步清一个边出来，然后慢慢的往前推，往前打。
Well, yeah, with the circle first formed, and we saw that it was in Los Leones. It was very.
ရပါတယ်ဒီဘာဖြစ်ကွာဒီပွဲကွာဟိုလောတဲ့
into the circle.
ဟိုအရင်ခင်းဟိုအရင်ခင်းနေချက်စားလို့ရှင်ဒီလိုမျိုးလေးသာဆက်ဖြစ်သွားမယ်ဆိုလို့ရှင်တော့စစ်ကဝင်ကြကြအောင်မရှိဘူးတော့စစ်ကဝင်
And
နေ
once we cleared out our own side, our own niche, I think it became a lot easier, and we were just clearing building by
ပြီးတော့
building.
ကိုယ်လည်းနားလေပြီကြာကိုရလုံးဝဆောင်းရနေရန်
As one
ခွာ
singular
ဖြစ်နေ
unit,
ဆို
and I think that was what clinched us the victory.
ရန်ဝေးခွာနေဆို
FireH for the interview.
နားလေဘူးဥမာပြန်နားလေဘူးစလုံးနေ
Here
တော့
with AGAL.
A day where a lot of teams have absolutely nothing to lose. So how about you start
Oh,
improving
someone
the
stuck on me,
stuff
I
that
want.
we've
I'm
put out here?
teaching
And that's exactly
you.
what GOAT Gaming was able to do in this game, Max.
Ah, the boys, the GOAT team finally showing up, and you know what? It's very interesting because
7
there's no
screen နဲ့
hovercraft
44
on
မိ
Rondo,
ရ
and
ပြီ
yet
တော့
they
လောက်
still
တော့
picked
ရောက်လာ
themselves
ပြီ
a win.
နောက်ပွဲ
Moxie
5
definitely
5
making
ပွဲ
me
ကျန်
proud in that game, but
44ဆိုရင်မစိုးဘူးလေ44ဆိုဟိုဖြစ်သွား
in
တယ်
this game from GOAT team, and
44
also
ဆိုတော့
strong
ဟိုဖြစ်သွား
macro
ပြီ
rotates. I do have this that I'm going to break down and play a little bit later on, so check that out later in this desk segment. But no, GOAT team generally the first time in this tournament. I have hope that this team can actually maybe make a big jump at the top 6. And just to highlight what you said earlier, 7 on the pre-show, the point gap is so minimal towards the middle pack teams, which is where GOAT are. This game I think puts them up in top 6.
It was 14
He's a
point
bit
difference between third place all the way down to 15th place now.
Wow.
အာ A7 ကိုကောင်းတယ်နော်
I
မ
mean,
င်း
it
လုံးဝ
really
ဟို
just
ဖြစ်တယ်
goes to show
grenade တစ်လုံးနဲ့နှစ်ယောက်လမ်းကြီးလိုက်တယ်
with one decent game can jump all the way up. We will see that on the overall leaderboards. There we go. But yeah, GOAT team able to just grab this hilltop. I'm so excited that we actually got a zone here because there's some really dynamic terrain to actually work with, and GOAT handled it so beautifully. RRQ as well, you're seeing there with Yangon. I was really happy with Yangon. Yes, it's a more of a passive second place. Yes, the zone was given to them a little bit, but they defended pretty well against RRQ, and we could see them take some shots towards other teams in the zone. So actually, I'm very happy with their performance. They were able to get some killer shots, man. There's some awesome shots coming on through there, and yeah, getting the win is finally going over to GOAT. But Yangon, GG.
Yeah, to be fair, it is really hard for Yangon Galacticos. You just had a fight with RQ, and then you have to instantly finish the fight with RQ and go for an exit on to go. I understand that getting that win was not possible. You know what? A strong second place. Yangon, again, the point gap is so small that could put them really high on those rankings.
It is strong second place.
哎呀，現在3呀，哇，ဖြစ်သွားနော်。
RQ as well. A lot of the squads that actually needed the
ဒီ
points.
ပွဲမှာဟွာရသွား
I'm looking
73
especially
မိနစ်
at
တူတယ်
one
73မိနစ်
squad,
တင်း
and
ခေရ
that
ဟွာနဲ့ဟွာ
squad
ဘ
is
ပွဲ
currently
6
in four. Damn right.
ဒီပွဲက
Alpha
9မိနစ်
7
73မိနစ်ရသွား
showing up,
73
and
မိနစ်
not
ဆိုတော့
only that, we got a
44
chance
ဟု
to
တ်တယ်
see Revo showing what we know he's capable of.
44မိနစ်
Yeah, I mean, look, it was kind of like such a beautiful start for them. They're just dropping slightly
သူက
more
ရှက်တူးကို
pressure
6မဲ့ပဲ
in
ပေးရ
and
နော်4မဲ့တောင်
not
ကွာ
getting
နေ
into
ပါဟိုက
that
နဲ့
hot drop scenario.
Shut
But what
one.
actually happened was E-Arena forced them out of their
Shut two
initial
is how
drop
much be it, what?
into the hot drop zone
Shut three
as
is
a
how much
duo.
be it, what?
But you think that would be the downfall of them? No, Reaver the Beast has been unleashed and has come back to play today. He was able to drop 5 eliminations, holding off so many teams that there's actually, I wish I grabbed the clip for you, scaring away RRQ. I mean, he is pushing so much presence onto this team that their team was able to revive themselves, adapt. They cleared a very clear route for them to be able to sit on that northern side. And although, you know, they ended up as a duo at that final against YG, did you see just how much aggression they were showing even as a duo in between a split hold of YG? Like, this is all we were asking for yesterday, and they've turned up today.
Yeah, throw away that car once again. Just make sure we stop hitting Max.
Alright,
Because
don't
they
equal
have
me,
been
dude.
doing it
What the
over
fuck?
and over
Down,
again.
Max, I got you.
တော့ equal moment တွေဟိုကောင်နဲ့46မဲ့ကိုကြီး40လိမ့်မယ်
Talking
နှစ်မှတ်ပဲ
about
ကွာ
that
ပါ
gap
တော့
of
တွေကွာတဲ့
points
နှစ်မှတ်ဆိုတာကွာ
team
ဒီပွဲ
ends up
အေးစစ်သေးဟိုဖြစ်သွားရင်ရ
all
ပြီ
the way up to second place, and this perfectly this couldn't be the most perfect example for all the teams that are currently outside of the top 6. If you have a good performance here, you will end up jumping up to that top 6 because of how much everything that Tiamba was able to sponge up yesterday.
It's so true, but this is where we've got to be really careful now, because it all comes down to the next couple of games. Because look at second place, look at 6th, only 10 points difference. Then 7th with GK 46, Arena 46, Yangon Galacticos with 44. The list goes on. It's so close. So GOAT may have gotten a big jump into that second place position, but it's not over yet. We still have 5 more matches to actually. It could go either way here. These other teams, they're not going to be happy where they are. The points are so close. It's really anybody's game now.
That leaderboard is going to be shifting, okay? It's going to be shifting not only during the match, after the match, and everything in between. We don't know which top 6 teams are going to be going towards the finals, but I do know that GOAT team has been putting in the word. Maybe they've been listening to us, because I know Killer Joe definitely speaks English, and they've been adjusting those rotations and trying to make sure they stay alive towards the end of the games.
As I said earlier, this is one of the best rotations we've
အဓိ
seen
ကအ
so
စော
far
ကြီးမ
this
ပြုတ်သွားဘူးပဲ
tournament
လို့
from
ကွာအခုဆိုဒီပွဲဆိုဒီပွဲ
Oh my
recall မပါတော့မလား
I got some
တစ်ခါသုံးပွဲပဲ
analysis to
recall
make
ပါ
right
လို့
now. Look at let me bring it over. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was having a little bit of a bad time. So I want you to look at these positions in particular. You see GOAT team on the southern side. They've been there for like a decent amount of time here, just chilling on the outskirts. Northern circle, meaning they have 2 options. Or they avoid the fight inside the city of Danxing, or they head to the eastern or western side. And there's a great opportunity that happens later on down the line here. As you can see, there's a big skirmish breaking out between Nongshim Red Force and E-Arena. And this is just ringing the bell. This is your opportunity right here, right now, GOAT team, to send it. And the moment they see the fight starting up, they instantly go for this wide western rotation, which not only allows them to clear some teams onto the western side, and they occupy that as their main playing spot for pretty much the rest of the game, but also avoiding all of the skirmish happening in the city itself. It's literally a two stones, one bird, a 2 birds, 1 stone kind of situation. And GOAT team, this gives me hope they can be a strong team in the finals. I just wish they would make it just more consistently, because this was 10 out of 10 stuff.
And that's why GOAT team, all of us, with the improvement that you've been able to do on that one, you get a chicken for that one. Hopefully you'll be able to keep on getting more, because right now we're going to be heading on to none other than game at number 2, baby.
Okay, game number 2 လာပြီ
Oh, absolutely. We're getting ready, and our teams, I feel like they're feeling a bit like that plastic chicken right now, a little bit squeaky, because it is getting a little bit later in the day with every single match. One opportunity is stricken off your card. Match number 8, we're going back over towards Erangel this
ဖလားလမ်းနေတော့ရဟဲ
Obviously, it's very easy to put all those points. And Valve 7 on our screen. Obviously, I've been critical.
Yeah.
But I was at the start of that last game, I was very pleased with their performance. I really was. There's just tentativeness towards that last 10 minutes or last 5 minutes when they get to those stages of the game, where even then I could see Guizao setting himself up for that fight, that engagement versus Go Team, which might have been the winner. Carrillo gets picked up on the backside there because it's just not a full cohesive push. It's tough. It is tough. And I understand that last game there's a lot of moving parts in that end game. But they did show, as Klar said, a lot of resilience in the early game. And we can't forget that. I think they had a fantastic start. I think they had the best start to that last game than anyone else. And I've said it before, it's very promising right now. So we'll see what more they can get done. The Furia, on the other hand, another team that I did want to talk about. I think they went down fairly early that last match. They got stuck into slowly bled out players. I have no doubt in my mind, though, the Fury's not going to pop off later today at some point. I think the Furies should be in that top 6. I think they belong in that top 6. From PMMI to now, they are looking for a big win at a major stage in the year. But we're heading into game 2 now with Erangel flying over from the top side of the map down towards Nova Repnoya.
So အလုပ် OD ရှိရဆိုရင်ထည့်အားပေးနေရနော်
Even playing path here, blank, nothing too dramatic.
Okay game 2ရောက်လာပါခင်ဗျာ
Pretty cruel though, I think it's safe to say. We were maybe
game 2ကြည့်မယ်ရောက်ပါတော့ကဲ YG ကတော်တော်တက်သွားပြီ44မှတ်ကွာအပေါ်ကောင်နေတယ်ဟိုတော့စစ်ကကောင်48မှတ်3မှတ်ပဲကွာကွာကဲ
It felt reasonable.
ဆိုတော့ဟိုကောင်နဲ့ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်5မှတ်ပဲကွာရယ်မဆိုး18မှတ်လောက်ကွာနေတာနေပြီးတော့ ဟိုဖြစ်လာ
near Alpha 7 there. Irina employing interesting strategy at the start of that last run though, right? Really
ခုနအမှတ်ကမက်အတကြီးလာ
targeting those recall towers and finding those solos in a way that I don't think we've seen so much. It's definitely something that teams have thought about doing. It's some things that we have seen happen, but it felt very much like a very specific game plan for Irina to be able to go for those hunt downs. And it was, I believe, it was Ulf and Alpha 7 who lost their solos.
It's been happening actually a lot more. There's been more and more times where we'll try and catch out 1 or 2 teams who are just carelessly throwing over towards the same spot every single time. That team will just wander in, get themselves free elimination and practically ruin the hopes of another team, or at least make their rotations out very difficult like it was for the case on Ulf. So yeah, I do think that that is happening more. It's just the first time we've really seen a team go after multiple squads at the same time. QZZ currently at 4,470 damage done. Milu close by.
ဟိုဘက်မှာ gold တင်းနေခုန gold တင်းနေ YG နဲ့ Okay ခုန chicken ရသွားတဲ့တင်းနဲ့
damage is pretty good, honestly.
Okay.
QZZ has just been on a
military base was in it
over the course of these 2 days. Circle very kind right now over towards Boatyard Ruins. GK getting a nice start over towards Pachinki at the moment. Wolves scattered across Gatka Fields. And you could be scattering Jutsu all over the place with the new Naruto skin set as well as the Ninetales Fury Org. Make sure to draw that in game because goodness me, that's a gorgeous skin. One of the best ones actually I've seen in quite a while. And you can also have a little tiny Kurama if you wanted, right? You know, you get that Ninetales.
သူဒီထဲမှာじゃနိုင်တိုဟာရီမပေါင်းနော်
It's good stuff.
နိုင်တိုဟာရီမပေါင်းနော်ဘာလို့
It was one of the things I was very envious of. Have to try and pursue that one. Get your spins in, get on to the game. See if you can pick those up. RRQ on the south side near that quarry area. No early engagements. We're not seeing a hot drop in Pachinki anymore. It's just GK on the inside there. Now that was set.
ဟိုရဆောင်းလန်းတယ်ကွာဖလားလို့ငါကြိုက်တယ်ကွာဖလားရမိုက်တယ်
And that's what they're all playing for.
နော်
right
aspect
there.
ရ
We
တော့
just
မင်း
saw
လုံး
on
ဝ
our screens the
လုံး
beautiful
ဝ
trophy
aspect GB
here at the
GBS
PMWC at
အဲ့ဒါရဆောင်းလန်း
EWC.
ဟိုဖြစ်တာနော်ဆောင်းလန်းဟော့ဖြစ်တာ
Also, a nice little flyby of our wonderful stage. Banked on both sides by
ကိုလည်း sniper ပစ်စကြောက်ကြလေ
fans.
you know ကိုင်း
See, honestly, it's really, really cool to have everyone here supporting the teams. The atmosphere has been fairly electric, and I might add quite loud.
Oh yeah.
But I am happy. You know, there is some rambunctious.
ပွဲအစရတဲ့အတိုင်းပဲ
support for the
ECC
squads.
နဲ့ပါတယ်ပွဲအစကငါမရောက်စီချင်ပါတကယ်တော့နောက်ဆုံးတန်းစစီချင်တာက
Drums of war beating heavy on the ears of our players. Well, hopefully not. Actually, they have ear protection on, so they should be fine.
ဒီည AB လာမလားမကြည့်ဖြစ်အောင်တော့ကြာလာမော brother AB စောက်မှာကျွန်တော် AB နာပေးရမှာလေကျန်းနေဟိုအမှတ်မှာဗါလေ armory 3သိန်းတန်မှတ်
Goat team, okay, moving over towards what? Yeah, it's true. It's very effective.
Who likes searching the dictionary for that one? Efficacious.
ဟောyou know အဲ့ container ပေါ်လေး like ကောက်ရအမှတ်မိကြည့်တယ်
Pull out the dictionary and start flicking through there.
Hey, you know, sometimes I just got to riffle through it.
Rifle.
And what I find would be elemosynary.
Oh, okay, wonderful. No clue what that means.
Neither. I'm pretty sure it means like something.
You've just
အဓိကအစောကြီးမသိပါဘူးပဲကွာအစောကြီးမသိပါဘဲနဲ့ ACC ကိုဖြည်းဖြည်းဖြည်းခုနအတိုင်းပဲကွာဖြည်းဖြည်းဖြည်းချင်းပဲသွားမယ်ဆိုရတယ်
I would hope you did. You're like the picture book of dictionaries. You just look at the words.
key point ထက်စားလို့ရှိရင်အဲ့ဟိုပါလေ RAM လေးတင်မလားအဲ့လိုအဆင်ပြေ
That's true. B is for
ဟို
Brazil.
မှာသူတို့ဟိုဟာဖြစ်နေမှာကာဟိုဟာဖြစ်နေ
I don't have it. I'm out. I'll tap it out of that one. Furia.
နောက်ထပ်ကားတစ်စီးပဲလက်တော့
Stop, drop and roll down the hill, but they do get back to their tires.
သူ Moonshot ထွက်ကြည့်ပါဦးမြည်တော့ဟဲ့ Moonshot ထွက်ကြမယူတာ
From that eastern side. Jumba from the northeast from Yasnaya, making their way into teams looking to leave Pachink or well crowding around.
သူတို့ဘာလို့ပြောလဲကျွန်တော်သိကြံဘာစကင်တွေမပါဘူးသူတို့စကင်တွေလည်းမပါဘူးနော်
But still far afield from one another. These teams are still a little bit in that loop.
ကားစကင်တွေကိုပြောတယ်ကားစကင်တွေသူတို့မထည့်ထားဘူးနော်
Weird coming from Rondo because it's from mini.
ရောင်ကြီးနေပြိုင်ပွဲမှာကွာရင်လာမယ်ကိစ္စကိုဘာလို့ကားစကင်တွေမထည့်ထားကောလဲ
Elimination after elimination. Plenty of ridiculous infighting towards some of these POIs on the map. But for Erangel, this is a pretty reasonable circle. Honestly, I don't think it's.
မဆိုးဒီခါတော့ပြီ YG ပဲစကွင်တိုင်းတော်တော်များများပြ
I feel like the first fight that might pop off is actually Alula on their crossing from the north side. Depending on where they go.
Alpha 7's arch nemesis.
Yeah, Alpha 7
are
kind of in the way. But Alula could just go further east and try and push in on that side of things. And Alpha 7 are a little bit split right now, so it is kind of dangerous if Alula go for a full crash on the position on the north. Both kind of isolated from one another.
Well, for
the
Alpha 7 right now, you see what they're trying to maintain control of box. Also have some control over the basically guaranteeing as much in towards the next circle as possible. All those locations are good.
အဲ့ကားယူလေအဲ့ကားယူဟိုဖြစ်ကြတယ်တော်တော်များများကြီးရဲလေးဖြတ်လို့ရဟိုလည်းလုပ်လို့ရအဲ့ကားကြီး
Went for a slight push up over towards that north side.
မာတယ်အဲ့ကားကြီး
Obscure was sending back that information that potentially was a team roaming on the northern edge, but he's going to back.
သူတို့ rune ထောင်နေကြကိုက
Everyone's quite well situated though. School currently taken by Tiamba. They shifted over from that eastern side. Alula crosses over the water to the banks of Rozok.
ပြန်ပွဲမှာစကင်ထက်စကီးလို့
There's plenty of space for absolutely everyone here, so we can probably talk about some of our teams.
Hold it, brother.
Currently in this one, Yangon Galacticos getting a very free and easy rotate from that south side, but AGA.
ခုနလွင့်နေဟာကိုပြက်ကြသွားလို့ brother. အဲ့ဒီတိုင်းပြန်လွင့်ထားဟိုစတင်နဲ့ပဲပြန်လွင့်ထားခုနဟို full screen လွင့်နေတယ်လွင့်တော့အဲ့ပြက်ကြသွားလိုက်ဆွင့်
Probably towards the first portion of the day, right? First 3 matches, I'd like to see something good out of this squad, and that would indicate they could potentially be in that top 6.
I think so. I mean, certainly coming into the survival stage, if you had to pick AGAL or Tiamba to be in the first place position of this lobby, this is not the reality that you would have selected, given the performances that we saw back in those group stages. For AGAL, they have fallen off, but not far enough.
ဒီလိုကားပဲယူရင်တော့အဲ့ဟိုဘက်ကဟိုလိုကားလေဘာမှမယူကြအဲ့ကားအတိတယ်ကားတော့မှသူဘာလို့ခွဲအဲ့လိုကွာဒီလိုကားမျိုးလေးတွေပဲယူရကွာဒီကားလိုပုံစံမျိုးမယူကြအောင်နော်
The story here.
ဘာလို့မသိ
As for almost all of our teams, in fact, as the circle crunches in again, fairly chilled out circle, keeps that northern side a little bit in, but again, you're just going to have to look to move forwards. And Alula
YG ပြောငါဥစဒီချက်လက်ရှာ YG မတွေ့ဘူးရောမင်း
to try and find the best way across. I imagine that they spotted Alpha 7 on that location. With Alpha 7 looking to regroup, Alula will be able to get through. It's interesting. It would be interesting to see
Ah,
if they
dude,
try and go
why
2
you
and
being
2 and actually cross into different locations, because at that point they're committing to being completely split until they can regroup in maybe zone 7.
It's really hard, okay? It's really hard.
ကိုမြန်မာပဲလိုက်ရှာနေ
Across boatyard, wrap through the rolling
ဘက်ကြီးအ
hills
မြန်
on
ဆုံး
south
ကား
side of
မှာဟုတ်
boatyard
ပြီ
and back to one another, which is why you're actually seeing them
Ah,
re-rotate
yeah,
to
yeah.
regroup over towards the western edge alongside with the rest of the team that's south of box. AGAL getting blasted right now as they push up towards ruins. This was a very desperate rotate. They're mildly successful, honestly, off the back of it. They get into position, they play the bunkers, they play the sandbags.
Okay.
Not horrendous.
Come on, it's
Actually
weak,
not
though, yeah.
horrendous. Flower H's vehicle is on its last legs, though.
They do have a blowtorch, so they can actually repair that one up. I think that's what you can hear in the background there. You've got your headphones in, making sure that they are nice and healthy. Yeah, I feel like mild, maybe even up to medium successful on this push.
Medium success.
Maybe
Maybe you're right.
Bit of piri-piri on that one.
ကိုရီးယားမနေ့တနေ့ကမှပတ်ကြည့်ပြန်ကြည့်ရဘာမှနားမလည်ဘာမှလည်းမသိ
I think
ဘူး
a lot of people and teams would
ဘာမှမသိတာမသိတာမှလည်းယူမသိတာလုံးဝမသိတော့သိတာ
But AJL had a very clear decision in mind. A lot of teams don't push towards ruins too early either because they don't want to be on that slope. You would rather have the information and the vision down towards that south side. So I think AJL plays into that quite quickly and is like, okay, maybe we can get sandbags off the back of this one. I don't imagine anyone's pushed in there.
ဟိုအာမာကိုင်းမလားခုနအာမာကောက်ပုံစံပြောင်းထားမလားဟိုခုနဟိုနောက်ပန်းကတက်ထားတဲ့ဟာလေ
2-2 split over on the western side of boatyard and then down towards the south by the roads. So they are likely not going to be able to regroup anytime soon.
I think it's a 3-1 coming on through. To me, that stinks of
This
not
is
moving
guy
quickly
take,
enough
yeah.
and responding to the circle, because you know what the other teams around you
Oh yeah, Kenji is done so.
are going to be going for, right? He's on foot getting down there. Or is he? Maybe he's in a buggy. Not entirely sure. No, he is, yeah, just on his belly. Trying to survive. Trying to not make any sound. As soon as I read that he's here, he's gone. He's out.
Yeah, they didn't hear him. He leapt off.
ကျွန်တော် stream မှာလေး brother အစရအရင်ကပြိုင်ပွဲမဆိုဘူးပြိုင်ပွဲလုပ်လေကျွန်တော် creator ကြီးပြိုင်နေပြိုင်ပွဲကြီးပဲဆိုရတာ
Here. I think maybe that was his vehicle.
Ah, maybe.
You saw it there. It is hidden. It is hidden away. And we are heading over towards ruins, in fact.
အဲ့မြေပုံ
a lot of
ပြလိုက်
teams
ဒီ
will
မှာ
have
ဝိုင်း
figured
ကြီး
this
ဘာ
one
လို့
out.
ပြောက်သွားလဲ
AJL,
မသိဘူး
medium success to massive success. Honestly,
yeah,
really well done.
အော်ဟိုးအောက်ဆုံးမှာဟိုးအောက်ဆုံးမှာအခုမှလာတာဟိုးအောက်ဆုံးမှာပူချင်းကြီးနားမှာတွေ့ပြီကျွန်တော်တွေ့ပြီ
huge, overlooking so much the fields to the south. They've got a lot of pressure to the east. Irina may look to try and crash down upon them, but I don't think there's an impetus to do that within the next maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes potentially. Goat team in with a scrap on the south side as they're trying to leave past Gatka open across those fields, but the Wolves are dragging them down into a fight.
Wolves actually in the top 6 right now. Kind of interesting. They've been able to get some points on board, but Elementrix will fall now. Baton moved over towards that northern edge. They were split on the team quite fully along with one another. Slonic just about able to get off into the distance, but before he does get knocked down, I think for Wolves right now, there's a bit of a awkward push out, and they weren't really thinking that, oh my God, there's going to be a lot of teams coming from that south side. And we're quickly shut down because of it. Ulf tries to go center. Ulf is not a team expected to be in 13th here. I think this is a very big surprise.
Wolf တင်းပြုတ်သွားတာ Wolf တင်းပြုတ်သွားတာရောက်ဟေး Wolf တင်းပြုတ်သွားတာကောင်းတယ်ရောက်အမှတ်မရတော့ကောင်းတယ်ရောက်ဟုတ်တယ်အမှတ်မရတော့ဒီပွဲအော်ကောင်တွေဝိုင်းကြီးအပေါ်မှာရှိနေရမလား Wolf တင်းကဟုတ်အမှတ်မရတော့ရောက်ဒီပွဲကောင်းတယ်ရောက်အဲ့ကောင်းတယ်သိလား
last 4 matches, because I don't think they're getting many points off the back of this game. They would have to shoot up the rankings if they want to make it to the top 6, and Wolf getting sent home today would be a massive deal.
အဲ့ကောင်အမှတ်မရတော့ကောင်းတယ်ရောက် Wolf တင်းလုံးဝ0ဖြစ်သွားအောင်0
Some ups and downs, I think it's safe to say, over the course of these group stages. Not quite able to make it all the way into the top 5.
အော်ဝိုင်းကြီးတယောက်တည်သွားတာ
a chance here. The lobby is close enough in
ဝိုင်း
terms
ကြီးတယောက်တည်
of
သွားပြီ
scores right now, Blank, that they can still make it. It does require them to
ပြန်လဲ
be
ခေါ်လို့မရ
pushing
ဘူး
pretty hard and fast,
စီးက
though,
လောက်တ
for Ulf. It's likely they're going to need to see at least 5 points off this match to keep themselves in the running. Moving into the latter half of the day. And to be fair, from their position on the north edge, that may well be doable as a duo. If Al-Ula don't commit to pushing out onto that angle, there's really not too many other teams that are going to threaten them. So it's a survival strategy for Ulf, and it may go quite well. They did send all the way from the southeast straight through the middle to get to this spot. That's why they've managed to shed all the players that they had. But yeah, it's a tough game for them. They do need to make the most of it.
Yeah, which is why it is a massive success for AJL on that rotate. Because they stopped early enough. They didn't lose too many players. They brought things to repair the rotational devices with, aka cars, which is great. Great news for them. And they should have some success. It's
玩家 zone 咧嘛樣樣 ，AC ဖြစ်သွားပြီ。
Thrown a bone here.
，zone 咧扮နေပြီ AC ပဲ。
They set themselves up nicely in that early game.
အမှန်ဘယ်လောက်မှမကွာဟုတ်တယ်။ဘူးတင်ရသွားပြီအဲ့ဒီကောင်လေးဒီဘက်0ဖြစ်သွားတော့
Yeah, with that pressure on the northern
shore
to
divert
Al-Ula away, remove a lot of that. That's what you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
With
ရှောင်းဝမ်းနဲ့ချင်းဒီမကောင်းပြုတ်သွားနိုင်တယ်မပြုတ်နိုင်ဘူးရှောင်းဝမ်းကမပြုတ်နိုင်အဲ့တိုင်း TN က 88 မှတ်ဆိုတော်တော်ငြိမ်သွားပြီပဲတော်တော်ကြီးကိုငြိမ်သွားပြီ88မှတ်စက်သားတပွဲရရင်စက်သားကတပွဲရဝိုင်းကြီးနေရာပဲတွက်မယ်ကွာ chicken တပွဲရရင်10မှတ်ကွာသိလားဟော K point ရအောင်မှနေတော့10မှတ် chicken ပွဲပဲလိုက်တက်မယ်ဆိုရင်တော့နောက်ထပ်3ပွဲစာအကောင်ကြီးငြိမ်နေကွာသိလားအကောင်ကြီးအဲ့လောက်ကြီးအမားအရင်မလုပ်ဖို့ပဲလို့တော့သိလားအရင်အမား0မှတ်ဒီပါဖြစ်သွားတော့မှအကောင်ကြီးကဟိုဖြစ်မှာဒါပေမဲ့ဆောင်းဝမ်းငြိမ်သွားပြီ88မှတ်ဆိုဘလို့စောစောရသွားပြီဗျာဘာဖြစ်တော့ဟောတော်သေးတယ်ရောက်ရင်တော်သေးတယ်
nasty stuff coming through. One player now left.
နော်တသိန်းပြုတ်သွားပြန်ပြီအာဂျူတဲ့
Gonna have words with them.
အာဂျူပြုတ်သွားမဟုတ်ဘူးကွာ
Trying to figure out the best
ဖူရီယာတဲ့ဖူရီယာဆိုတင်းနဲ့ပြုတ်သွားပြီအာဝိုင်းကြီးပေါ်မယ်ကောင်းတယ်အာဂျူလည်းပြုတ်သွားပြီဟဲ့အာဂျူလည်းပြုတ်သွားပြီအာဂျူလည်းပြုတ်သွားပြီကောင်းတယ်ဝိုင်းကြီးပေါ်တင်းတယ်အကုန်လုံးအကောင်တွေဟိုကောင်ဒီ0မှတ်တွေနဲ့ထွက်တာ0မှတ်တွေနဲ့0မှတ်တွေနဲ့ကောင်းတယ်0မှတ်တွေနဲ့ထွက်တာကောင်းတယ်အရန်ကောင်းပါပြီလေအဲ့တော်တော်ကောင်းပါကိုရီမသေးဘူးလို့ကိုရီနောက်ထပ်နည်းနည်းလေးပဲကွာသေးရဘာမှမဟုတ်ဘူး run point လေးနည်းနည်းပါရှက်3လောက်ရလို့ရှိရင်နည်းနည်းအဆင်ပြေအပေါ်အကောင်တွေခုနကဟိုအာကျူလို့ပါအောင်နဲ့ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဝိုင်းကြီးနဲ့ဘယ်လောက်ပဲကွာဆိုကွာပဲကွာကွာအော်နေ50မှတ်ဖြစ်သွားပြီကွာ1k ရထားဆို50မှတ်ရသွားပြီကွာဝိုင်းကြီးကဘာဖြစ်သွားလဲ what the fuck ဟာသွားပြီရတာပဲကောငါအမက်ဟိုမှာတွက်နေတော့ရှိသေးရဲ့လीဘာလို့သိသွားတော့ငါဟာဝိုင်းကြီးကသွားပြီဟာ what the fuck ငါ45မှတ်ကွာရှက်3လောက်ရရပြီရှင်တော့ရှက်2ဆိုရင်6မှတ်သွား50မှတ်ပြန်ဖြစ်သွားတယ်တူပြန်ဖြစ်သွားပြီလို့ငါပြောမလို့ရှိသေးတယ်ငါတော့အမက်တွက်လို့မပြီးသေးဘူးလို့ဟာ Why
potentially on the cards here with only the single elim found. We said before it's probably still fairly safe for them right now, but they do need to pick up a couple points here and there, Blank. Yeah, it is unfortunate in this spot.
These are 6မှတ်ဖြစ်သွားပြီကိုကြီး these are 6မှတ်ပဲ
players like that's not how you want to start. Dopeness on the south side against Nongshim Red Force. Nongshim Red Force playing with only 2 players in action, and Dopeness similarly losing one of their players as well.
အော်ငါဒီပွဲဟိုဟာဖြစ်ပြီးထိနေတာအပေါ်ဘက်ကကွာအာဂျီတို့ဘူးစုပြုတ်သွားပြီဆိုတော့ကွာဟိုကောင်တွေက0မှတ်တွေဖြစ်နေတာကွာအာဂျီကပဲတစ်မှတ်ပဲရရကွာဟိုငါအမှတ်တောင်တွက်လို့မပြီးသေးဘူးရှောင်းကြီးမရှက်2လောက်ရလို့ရှင်တော့6မှတ်ဆို50မှတ်ဖြစ်သွားရင် AC ဟိုဟာတွဖြစ်သွားပြီလို့အော်တွက်နေတော့ရှိသေးတယ်အာဂျီနဲ့တော့မအမှတ်တူသွားပြီလို့ဒီခေရအကောင်တွေကဟိုအူးတော်မှဟိုဟာဖြစ်နေပြီဆိုတော့56မှတ်တည်ကြနေပဲကောင်တွေကအော်အဲ့လိုမျိုးဖြစ်လို့မရဘူးလी
Ulf now being descended upon the duo.
အဲ့လိုဖြစ်လို့မရဘူးအဲ့လိုဖြစ်သွားပြီဒုက္ခကိုလုံးလုံးနေတာတကွာလိုက်ကြီးပြုတ်သွားတာတယောက်လောက်ကြံနေတော့တော်သေးရအောင်ကြီးသွားပြ0လीဟိုတော့တန်းမဝင်ဘူးလားတော့တန်းတော့မဝင်နိုင်ဘူး0ပဲတာဟောသွားရအောင်ရ
They'll need something bigger in the next few.
သူများကြီး0ရလို့ပြောနေ
very quickly.
သူများကြီး0ရလို့ပြောနေတာလीလို့
teams now left in the circle. Geek, they've been
ကိုအောင်မတ်တွေပါတွက်တက်နေပြီ
5 elims on this match now, Blank. They're doing well on the south side. They've rebuffed pushes there. They have the buildings to play around. Goat team
အောက်ကအတန်နေမထွက်ကြတော့ဘူးငါတို့စင်အောက်ကအတန်နေမထွက်ကြတော့ဘူး
of a strong rondo in towards
ဦးနိုင်ဆိုငါတို့မြန်မာအတန်ကြေဆုံးပဲဟုတ်မှာတော့
They have force with them, so don't worry. He is on the team. We're good to go.
ဦးမထွက်တော့ဘူးရောက်ကြီးလို့
They're
ကွာ
going to
ပဲ
move towards that northeast side. I can say slightly interesting push they'll have to make, and if they want to wrap down towards the south here and play in slow, definitely doable. Alpha 7, they pulled off from that northern portion of the compound and fully situated themselves down towards the south here, understanding the teams are likely wrapped through fields, were in the compound. And that is GOAT team. So they're
တီယန်ကောင်တွေလည်းပြုတ်တော့မယ်တကောင်ပဲကြံတော့တယ်အပေါ်ကတင်းရကောင်တွေကပြုတ်ပြီးအောက်ကကောင်တွေတက်လာတာမကောင်းဘူးနော်အဲ့ဒါတကယ်တော့မကောင်းဘူးနော်အောက်ကကောင်တွေတက်လာတာမကောင်းဘူးနော်ကိုရီနဲ့အမတ်တွေလိုက်လာရဆိုသဘောသိလား brother တော့အောက်ကကောင်တွေနဲ့လည်းကိုရီအမတ်ကမကွာဘူးနော်မကြည့်43 44နော်တွေ့လားဟာရအောင်
For GOAT team, that is good news for the time being, but as soon as the arena move, the rooftops become so
အပေါ်ကကောင်တွေတီယန်တို့ဘာလို့ပဲထပ်ပြီးတော့နိုင်မှဖြစ်မှာနော်အမတ်တွေများပြီးနေမှဖြစ်မှာ
think about how they want to go for
အဲ့
this
ကုတ်
one.
တင်းတွေပါရလို့ရှိရင်ရသေးတယ်အကောင်တွေ
Peel off those angles.
ကုတ်တွေ A7 အဲ့အပေါ်က3တင်းရကွာအဲ့3တင်းရရင်ရတယ်ကြီးခေတို့ဘာလို့ဆိုတာအကောင်တွေမရရင်ပိုကောင်းမယ်အဲ့ကြီးခေတို့ဘာလို့ရလို့မဖြစ်ဘူးအေးအတင်းပို့ဆိုးတယ်အေးအတင်းရလို့မရဘူးအန်နတ်က3မှတ်တောင်ထပ်သွား49မှတ်ဖြစ်သွားပြီအောင်ရေးပေါ်လို့မရတော့နော်ရောက်အိုး brother တို့သိလားပေါ်လို့မရတော့နော်တဲ့သူတို့ chicken တွေရမှဖြစ်တော့မှာသိလားအိုးအမတ်ကိုကြည့်လိုက်တော့ brother တို့သိလားနောက်ထပ်4ပွဲပဲကျန်တော့ရဆို chicken တွေရတော့မှာ key point တွေကိုထည့်ရတော့မှာဖြစ်တော့မှာသိလားအခြေအနေကအဲ့လောက်ကြီးမကောင်းတော့ဘူးနော် brother တို့သိလားစိုးရင်ရတဲ့အနေထားဖြစ်နေပြီ
Hyunbin causing problems there. Nongchen Red Force again, they're on 2 players alive. They're out of this current zone blank. They have to step forwards. So finding
ဘာလို့လဲသိလားအောက်ဖက်ကအမတ်တွေကပြန်ကြော်တော့မှာကွာပြန်ကြော်တော့မှာဆိုအမတ်ကတွက်လိုက်မယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်
diminishing the power of GOAT team across the way. You love to see it.
အဲ့8နဲ့9နဲ့ဟိုဟာဖြစ်တော့မှာ
With another nade over the top. They're not quite connecting.
ကိုအောက်ဆုံးကအတင်းရသွားရင်လည်းကိစ္စမျိုး KIX အတင်းတွေနိုင်သွားပေးလိုက်ကွာ KIX အတင်းတို့ TN တို့အဲ့ GOAT တို့ A7 တို့အဲ့4တင်းနိုင်လို့ရတယ်
But does have to duck back as he gets clocked himself. He's very, very low there. In the meantime, TZ is fending off against Geeko, who won a third party. Hyunbin falls.
Yeah, Hyunbin going down here. Good nades coming through from GOAT team, but in comes the shots from the sidelines here, and it is Revo finding Moxie. This is good. Very, very well done. You have to capitalize on that, and this was the plan from the very start, John, for Alpha 7. Looking better and better as the day goes on here. Kiwoom DRX technically have center circle on this one, but they have been so lackluster throughout the tournament. It's hard to call them doing much going forward. They'll have to change our minds essentially as the day goes on. E-Arena did now finally pull fully.
TN ကောင်တေးလုံးဖြုတ် TN ကောင်တေးလုံးဖြုတ် TN ကောင်အားပေးရမယ် TN ကောင်အားပေးရမယ်ကောင်တေးလုံးမရဘူးတကောင်နဲ့ပတ်လုံနေတယ်
2 players down. Oh, that one felt like it might
တကောင်နဲ့အိမ်ထဲကိုပတ်လုံနေ TN ကောင်တေးလုံးမရဘူး TN ကောင်တေးလုံးမရဘူး TN ကောင်နိုင်မှဖြစ်မှာ
to go big.
အောက်ကောင် slide ဟိုဘက်လမ်းစပရိတ်ခံနေအောက်တေးလို့မရအောင်တေးလို့မရအောင်နော်
Gone up, and he has
တကောင်နဲ့အထက်က4ကောင်ထိန်းထားတာရောင်း
trying to step into
တကောင်နဲ့အထက်က4ကောင်ထိန်းထား
looks for it.
ဝင်မပြင်းတဲ့တိုင်းဝင်မပြင်းနဲ့မသေးမေး
Reds did not get stuck.
အေးကောင်းတယ်တိုက်အော်မိကွာငါပြောနေတယ်မသေးလို့မရဘူး
There is no more left in the
အကြီးခေတေးရမှာဟုတ်တယ်တေးသွားပြီကောင်းတယ်
Ruins the day.
ကောင်းတယ်ကြီးခေတေးကြီးခေပြုတ်သွားပြီဒါပဲကြီးခေပြုတ်သွားပြီကောင်းတယ်အဲ့ကောင်းတယ်အဲ့ကောင်ကြီး6မှတ်ရသွားသေးတယ်ကွာမင်းခေးရ6မှတ်တောင်နဲတာမဟုတ်ဘူးကွာ58မှတ်သွားပြီနော်အပေါ်ကကောင်ကြီးကိုပြန်ပြိုင်ဖို့တော်တော်မလွယ်တော့တဲ့အနေထားဖြစ်သွားပြီဝိုင်းချက်45မှတ်ဆိုတော့အပေါ်က6တင်းကိုပြန်ဟိုဟာမဖြစ်တော့တဲ့နေရာဖြစ်အဖေက6တင်းဆို NS တင်းကတက်ပြီကွာ NS တင်းက key 3မှတ်နဲ့တက်ပြီ49မှတ်ဖြစ်သွားပြီကောင်ကြီးကျင်းသေးပါအိုးလို့ကျင်းတယ်49မှတ်ဖြစ်သွားပြီဆိုအကောင်ကြီးတော့စစ်ရနေပြီတော့စစ်ရနေတော့ဒီတော့စစ်တော့မရသေးဘူးအကောင်ကြီးအမတ်တော်တော်ဟိုဟာဖြစ်နေပြီဒီကောင်ထက်သေးပါတယ်
Gets across and now looks to heal. There's a lot of crates on this location, remember, because Milu was doing some dastardly deeds out in the open, so potential.
NS ကောင်တီးတော့မယ် NS ကောင်
He's going to stop. In the meantime, AGAL, good
NS
shot.
က50မှတ်ဖြစ်သွားပြီ
Looking to
အာကျူကျော်ရ NS ကအာကျူကျော်သွားပြီ
maximum successful rotate earlier on. Looking to try and convert now into
UAE
transition.
လည်းကြော်ပြီးအောင်အာသွားပြီးအောင်ငါဒီပွဲကတော်တော်သွားပြီးအောင်
Player on that northern side.
Lu lemon tea.
Rebel went out too close to the arena and does get clipped.
မလွယ်တော့အဲ့လောက်ထိမလွယ်တော့တဲ့စိတ်အေးချမ်းနေလို့ရတဲ့အနေထားမဟုတ်တော့ဘူးတပွဲကိုအမှတ်ကကွာဝါဆောင်းမန်းတိတာရွာတိလား
AGAL by the way because Alula
ဇုံနဲ့တည်တဲ့
second tried to check Kenji so no one's literally no one's known he's here for so long
A7 နေအားပေးရမယ် A7 နေနိုင်မှဖြစ်တော့ပဲ A7 နေနိုင်တော့မှဖြစ်အဲ့ကောင်တွေကျန်တဲ့ကောင်တွေကဘယ်လိုပဲဖြစ်ကွာမရတော့ပါဘူးအပေါ်က6တင်းလုံးကပြုတ်သွားပြီဆိုအောက်ကကောင်တွေတက်ပြီကွာ
The tempo on
အောက်ကကောင်တွေတက်ကိုတက်ပြီလေ
the arena.
ဆို KRH အသင်းနဲ့ A7 ကိုအားပေးရမယ် KRH နဲ့ A7 အဲ့ဒီနှစ်သင်းက chicken တစ်သင်းရမှာဖြစ်မယ်သိလားကိုရအကောင်တွေကကိုရထက်ကြော်ထားပြီးသားဆိုတော့အဲ့ဒီနှစ်သင်းရမှာဖြစ်မယ် KRH နဲ့ A7
I think I still believe that. Right? He goes down, but a really solid performance from that angle. But Dopeness, 4 elims into a 6th place. I think that's more than they could have hoped for.
Who's ဆိုတဲ့ကောင်တွေအကောင်တွေကဟိုမှာဖြစ်တော့ YG နဲ့အမှတ်တူတူဖြစ်သွားပြီ45မှတ်46အမှတ်တော့မတူသေးဘူး YG ထက်တမတ်မှများနေတယ်
Further and further into these games, it's nice to see their name popping up towards these end points. Alula forced to move down, and AJL looking to bolster.
အမှတ်ရန်ကွာလိုက်ဖို့ရန်ခတ်သွားအဲ့ကြောင့်မို့လေဒါပေမဲ့ E7 နဲ့ကအဲ့လောက်ကြီးလိုက်ဆရာမလို့ကွာသိလားကျန်တဲ့အတင်းနဲ့ GEK ကတော်တော်ကွာသွားပြီ58မှတ်ဖြစ်သွားပြီဘောပါတော့ E7 က60ကျော်သွားပြီတေးကြပါမရတော့ရန်စိုးရင်ရတဲ့အနေထားမှာဖြစ်နေ6တင်းထဲမှာပါဖို့အတွက်ကိုတော်တော်လောက်ကတော့မှာတော်တော်ကိုလောက်ကတော့မှာ3ဘွဲလောက် chicken ခီးမတ်နဲ့ဟိုအနေရမှာဖြစ်တော့မှာ3ဘွဲလောက် chicken နဲ့ခီးမတ်နဲ့ရတော့မှချီနီရဟိုဖြစ်မှာ90ကျော်ရမှာကွာ90ကျော်နဲ့ဟိုနဲ့ဆို KI တီးသွားပြန်ပြီလားအကောင်တွေကလည်းကြီးပဲကွာမတီးသေးတကောင်ကြံသေးတယ် KI စကွက်မဝိုက်သေးဘူးမီးတောက်ကြီးနဲ့မီးဟာကောင်းနေအောင်ဟာဘောင်းမှာဟိုကောင်လေးတီးဒီကောင်လေးတီးရအဲ့လိုလားနှစ်ဖက်လုံးတီးသွားတာ
Alpha 7 now up against E Arena. Good flex.
တက်ပြီ E ရအမှတ်တက်ပြီအဲ့ကောင် E တက်ပြီကြောင် E7 နိုင်မှာဖြစ်မှာ E7 နိုင်မှာဖြစ်မှာ E7 နိုင်မှာဖြစ်မှာ E7 နိုင်မှာဖြစ်မှာနော်သိလား E7 နေနိုင်မှာဖြစ်မှာဘာဖြစ်လဲဆိုတော့ကိုရီးယားအမှတ်က E7 နဲ့ကွာထားပြီးသားဆိုကွာပြီးတော့ E7 နဲ့ဆို E နဲ့အမှတ်အများကြီးကွာလို့မရတော့ဘူး E7 နေနိုင်မှာဖြစ်မယ် E7 နေ
Losing Revo earlier may be a difference maker here though, Blank. For Alpha 7, they need all the sightlines they can get, and E-Arena have been able to change the pace.
E နိုင်လို့မရဘူး
Slow and immediately turn it on when it
E7 နိုင်မှာဖြစ်မယ် E7 chicken ရမှာပဲ E နဲ့ဆိုအကောင် chicken 4 မှတ်ဆိုတာ4မှတ်ပဲအရန်ကွာသွားမှာနော်4မှတ်ဆိုတာ4မှတ်ဆိုနေတာမဟုတ်ဘူးနော်4မှတ်ဆိုတော်တော်ကွာသွားမှာတီးသားမတီးနဲ့လီမဟုတ်ဘူးအကောင်တီးလို့မရဘူး E7 ကောင်တီးလို့မရဘူးဟာ E7 ကောင်ကြာပြီငါ
to rattle obscure straight on down on the hillside. Schweppes steps in.
ตีได้now
Now 2 players.
ตี
Outside on Tony K, but he manages to turn around the headland and stay alive. A 2v3 now.
don't want me to know.
Over the top side, he's flying through the air. Might get out of the vehicle, but his eye on fire. Guido goes down to a run down as he gets out the car, leaving.
E7 niตีကုန်ပြီ E7 niตีကုန်ပြီရောက်
A chicken dinner would be great, but this feels like an impossible task.
E7 တကောင်ပဲကျန်တော့တယ်အကောင်တကောင်ပဲကျန်တော့တာ
Have to be absolutely exemplary. Cannot get the shots underneath the vehicle over towards Tony K. Likely going to be going for a first aid kit.
ကွန်นี่အဲ့လောက်ဝီးရောက်တယ်လား
Looking for
Sure.
the bounce. Might hit.
အော်မရှိုးဘူး
Doesn't quite grab him though. Constantly repositioning.
အော်မကွန်นี่ကြပြီရောက်တဲ့အဝီးကြီးပဲနေတာကွာသွားပြီ E ရောက်သွား
And E-Arena from atop the Everest position, able to descend, control the
အမှတ်ကတော်တော်ကွာဝိုင်းစေတော့ပဲ
and squeeze the life out of the lobby.
I mean, they pulled up those files. None of them were classified. They had locked in info on every single team. And they took the silencer out and certainly silenced a lot of these squads in the lobby. The boys in Alpha 7 though, another good game. A repeat of success. It's really good to see from them. And again, what I really like is how they understood the game plan from them. It felt like it wasn't haphazard from the squad, and even when Revo went down, I didn't really mind that all that much either. I was like, he's doing his job, he's scouting out for the team. Yes, he gets a little bit far and potentially wasn't expecting the sight lines from E-Arena on the top side, but even if you do go down like that, at least you're passing back information. There's a northern squad there. So for Alpha 7, another strong game. I think it is a top 6 today.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I have to agree. I feel like that was a lot better. They addressed some of the issues from that first rondo. They were a little bit more dynamic when they needed to be. Losing Revo may be something they can patch up, but it is improvement consistently, which is exactly what you need for a survival stage. So great news for them. And E-Arena able to do a lot of work to try and push themselves back into that conversation as well. Yeah, there have been questions about the consistency of this roster. Of course, Schweppes the only player here to have that opportunity at the triple title of PMWC. He has been able to win it twice before, so to see him go home in the survival stage would be pretty galling, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good stuff so far, though. AGAL looking fantastic. Today seems to be the day of getting back on form. But we'll be back on form very shortly after a very short while.
I don't believe this, brother. We are here for our country, brother. I'm cheering for Myanmar, brother. Arena Bears West တပွဲဆော့ဗျာဆော့လို့မရဘူးစစ်ပြန်အဲ့လိုမျိုးချိန်ကြမှာဒီတက်သွားအချိန်မှာကျွန်တော်ပြောရတာပဲဒီတက်သွားအချိန်မကောင်းတော့
Claris here at PMWC for day 2 of survival stage. We haven't got to talk to Wolves at all throughout this tournament so far. So why on earth not doing
Wolf
it?
တီလဲအခေါက်နေလဲချိန်နေမကောင်းတော့
It's going to be going on so
သိရ
far from
Wolf တီလဲချိန်နေမကောင်းတော့အကောင်တွေက48မှတ် YG က46မှတ်
I want to ask you about obviously you guys got a second place with 11 eliminations on that last game yesterday. But so far the chicken dinners, the wins have kind of eluded you. What's denying you those? I understand the tournament's very hard, of course, but
ဟုတ်တယ် YG စောကြီးပြုတ်သွားမှာလုံးဝစောကြီးပြုတ်သွားတာ
I mean, first of all, we're doing like a lot of individual mistakes, you know, and we're not far up to the end of the game. That's our main problem. We're trying to fix it. And I think if you will be far up every game, it should be much easier and to get.
ချစ်ကန်ကို3ပွဲလောက်ရမှာဖြစ်တော့
So let's talk about the Los Leones game specifically, right? Because you guys
ချစ်ကန်ကို3ပွဲလောက်ရမှာဖြစ်တော့
relative to everybody, a lot of other teams.
ဘာလို့အကုန်လုံးက60ကျော်80နားကတ်နေပြီကွာတရား
When you look back on that, a second place with 11 eliminations is great, but are there
Toxic
any moments from that game or in that game that you look back on that you could have done differently or even differently enough to be able to beat AGAL in the final moments?
အမှတ်ကအရန်ကွာနေလို့ပြောရအဲ့တော့အကောင်ကြီးရတယ်နောက်ပွဲမှာအကောင်ကြီးအမှတ်တက်လာနိုင်သေးတယ်လေဆိုတော့အကောင်ကြီးကြော်တက်ဖို့အတွက်ကိုရီးယားချစ်ကန်ကို6ပွဲလောက်ရမှာဖြစ်တော့မ6ပွဲတော့3ပွဲလောက်ရမှာဖြစ်တော့
We could just hold them like because
ဟိုက4ပွဲလောက်ဆော့ရမှာ
if we just hold them and we were like far up, I think it was our game.
So I guess I'll actually add a final question as well. What was the expectation for Wolves coming into this tournament? As I mentioned before, obviously, and you know as well, a very hard tournament overall. The best teams in the world. What's the goal for Wolves here in this tournament?
Okay, for now it's obviously just to qualify to the final. But in the final, just to improve our game and show our best.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Batham, for joining us here.
ချစ်ကန်3ပွဲရရတော့မှာ
survival stage, and we're signing out right now.
ဘယ်နဲ့ပါ46မှတ်ကွာ46ကိုချစ်ကန်3ပွဲနဲ့ဆိုမှ89မှတ်ပဲထားမယ်အဲ့ချစ်ကန်မှာတကောင်2ကောင်တက်လိုက်တယ်ထားလိုက်အောင်
Finally see them showing up here, even though they were just chilling for the longest time.
ချစ်ကန်3ပွဲလောက်ရမှာဖြစ်တော့မှာ
But great movement out of that squad to come out with the win.
A non-rondo chicken dinner?
ဘာကြီးပွဲနဲ့ဆိုပြီးချစ်ကန်မမြင်ရသေး
It's really good to see Everest, of course.
Everest
Very important area if you have a circle shifting towards the northwestern side of Erangel, which is what ended up happening there around ruins. But in particular, what I loved is they were trying to get rid of threats before they become a major threat. In this game in particular, Al-Ula, they were having major control of threats. You might want to talk about them later on. Really big control of Ruin. That would be a big so then if they try and get rid of Al-Ula, or maybe not straight up eliminate them, but force them away from their position, maybe they can actually end up getting the wins. I think E-Arena here, that was some top tier stuff, and I wish to see it just more consistently.
And Lace, one thing that we saw too is them gatekeeping Alpha 7 in a way, because Alpha 7 ended up being just in that house. Usually that's a team that likes to spread their wings a little bit more in that kind of position, but E-Arena wasn't allowing them to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really even disappointed with what they were trying to do in that certain scenario. You know, they were, down a player compared to that. So them being able to sort of scout that position. Obviously, I think when our wonderful IGL got out of the vehicle, probably just a bit too early. I think that's where the miscommunication led them. And obviously, he was not in a good position whilst, E-Arena was still scouting in the vehicles. But look, it's a better effort. Like, we have to from yesterday to today. They're getting in those top 5s.
And better effort, we saw that from KRX in this game as well. Not necessarily the final push, KRX, but you know what? You guys have been absolutely awful so far, so I'm happy to see some great stuff from you guys.
Yeah, it is nice to see a little bit of life coming in from them, but E-Arena just cleaning things up. Flips, oh my goodness me. E-Arena, I'm very, very impressed with how they played this, waiting for A7 to make a move first, to come to them, to let them know where their position is, and then just going all the way around. I mean, MG3 does help Max. We know how powerful that weapon can be, especially in the hands of a professional team like this. But A7 had a lot of options, and E-Arena just made sure that those options dwindled very, very quickly. So very happy with EA for this last game.
Quick positive for the teams at the end there, in particular looking at Alpha 7 and E-Arena. Not doing these weird drive-bys and just losing all of your momentum. Get out of the car, start shooting, and then they get back in the car, start driving forward. So I do appreciate that. I'm sure Blank is going to heavily enjoy that finishing moment. What was that?
So can you do that again for us?
Damn, boy, you made the whole camera shake and everything. But one team that has been performing really well has been Go Team. Go Team, they ended up with the win early on. We know that they can definitely put up the numbers. I want to see Go Team between yesterday and today, because this squad is different. Keep in mind, this is total stats, and so far, Go Team, we know those eliminations are going to be coming in, but Lace, one thing I'm looking at is those placement points already double in some the placement points of yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, they're really thinking this through. Even if we, come out of that match and their rotation from military base, and like I do want to kind of add in RRQ just into this mix, because they had every opportunity to be able to gatekeep on military bridge. They didn't, just decided to rotate, but their power in holding a position is unfortunately not the best. But that's what GOAT can realize. They moved through that sort of western side. They were able to position themselves well. Nice split hold, which we see from them so often. They have that dominance power. So this is exactly why we're seeing them collectively get these good positions and these eliminations. So, I mean, it's incredible work from them, and I do believe that they're going to maintain that top 6. I believe it because of the way that they've been playing throughout yesterday and today. It's amazing.
No, it really is. I'm really enjoying how they're playing.
The greatest of all time.
It is. It really is. But I really enjoy the zone control that they're trying to keep going forward game after game. It's a nice bit of consistency that we're seeing. EA as well, not to go back to them, but they had a really nice push down off the mountain. They were able to sweep behind really, really well after Alula. Yes, hello, A7 as well. Second place, okay, that's good, that's good. But stop. No, but for me, Alula was a really, really nice. The way that they split around to surround Ulf when they pushed out the spread across that zone. They did actually try to push up to EA as well, which I did notice, but I think just that terrain was just not going to be really happening there. But for me, Alula, except for the final crash where they just disintegrated in 0.5 seconds, apart from that, really good game. I like it. I like it.
Nice, Alula. One team that I know you were keeping an eye on as well, Max, is none other than Tiamba, because Tiamba, what was it that you were looking at? Tell me a little bit more.
Not a great push, unfortunately, on their Chinese brethrens of all gamers. And actually, I believe we do have a replay that might be coming up in just a few seconds here. Actually, it's going to be this one. But the thing is about Tiamba, I think the idea of pushing onto all gamers is great. You can see all the players get knocked here. And the thing is, if you want to push in this area, you have to commit. You need to send it and eliminate the opposition, which is going to be all gamers in this case, because everyone got wrecked literally upon entry in this area. It's just a nade funnel at that point. And then eventually, all gamers, Maple in particular, is like, we got a massive advantage here. We're just going to wrap it up, end up getting all of those flushes, and only Milu is left alive, which, no, Milu can do 1v4s, we've seen it before, but Tiamba, sure, they're in first position, but I'm looking ahead of the finals. In the finals, I would say this is a massive fumble, maybe that could cost them the tournament. So Tiamba, position like this, you can't play too passive, you need to commit if you want to come out on top.
Especially when you have a team like AGAL wanting to be even more aggressive, wanting to make that push, because they also need the points. This is a team that hasn't really been performing well, but let's take a look at how the standings are currently looking. Tiamba still in first place, but Alpha 7 making that push now to second place. Go Team, due to those amazing eliminations that they were able to get in that last game, they've maintained themselves there within the top 3. Let's start seeing a gap here between some of the points.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough, unfortunately. I'm not seeing that from Silence and those guys are very good, literally on the low. ကိုရ46မှတ်ဖြစ်နေပြီဆို9မှတ်ဆိုတာကြီးကကျွန်တော်နောက်ထပ်4ပွဲပဲဆိုတော့မယ်ဆိုတဲ့အနေထားမှာအကျန်းกว่าတယ်ပြောလို့ရတယ်45မှတ်လားဘာလို့46မှတ်မဟုတ်လား
They're losing players on like phase 2 or 3 Niptura. This is not the Ulf that I know.
46မှမဟုတ်လားငါ 1K ရထားမဟုတ်
It's
လား
not the one that anybody knows, quite frankly. It's not the one we saw in the group stage. Yes, they
Don't
kind of
easily
slowed
maybe,
down
yeah.
in some of the group stage games, but it's not
easily maybe, yeah.
the same. It's not the same at all.
45မရထားတယ်ငါတို့
We've
46
gone
မဖြစ်
from,
ဘူး
you know, players of, you know, the old Fireflux, right? We had players of old Fireflux being, you know, with Ketch as the IGL, and they're making such a massive comeback, and then all of a sudden they get here, and it's just, they just fizzle out, and I'm so confused because this is a team that has incredible firepower. Right? They are so good at that aggressive play, and we're just not seeing anything. Well, exactly. I mean, how do you go from old Fireflux, a lot of those players being on old Fireflux with that reputation, coming over here, continuing that reputation, and then doing nothing now?
Just final point on that one. Usually they're slow starting team. This is taking way too long to build up that momentum. It's very, very slow.
That's right, Alpha 7 fans. Get a little bit high because the team is finally performing. We're seeing something different from this squad. So let's go, Alpha 7. Let's send it over to none other than the men with high energy, Hot Jukes, and Kalaris.
Yes, all right. We've got a few teams to talk about before we actually kind of get things into the next game. I got Hot Jukes here with me for everything. And we got a few teams, such as E-Arena, getting themselves a win when they hit those big highs. They hit it really
our
hard.
country, brother.
Here from Everest was a great
My
position
country,
to stage
Myanmar.
this from. Good information from there, not only a great staging point.
Absolutely. I mean, when you said biggest highs, right? They've had like the biggest in a past Rondo, right? But still couldn't make it into the final stand. But they're here now. They get the chicken dinner. 17 points was critical, right? So it's good to finally see them make something happen. Even though it is on the last game, we still got 4 matches left to go. It's a great start.
What's particularly impressive is holding Alpha 7 in that compound to then swing around the north side, hit the east, be able to clean that up, eliminating threats. They're a very opportunistic team, and I think that was really exemplified in that game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they had all the sight lines on everything, holding that edge of Everest, and then they saw that fight happening down there with KRX. They go down, take it, get those eliminations, and still hop on back, like you mentioned, to be able to take out Alpha 7 and clutch it up. Very nice.
One of the teams, of course, they did kind of clean up on that east side. AGAL, who, of course, is in the running for a club championship points, in the running to try and get themselves a strong, solidified position in that top 6 as well. What did you think of them?
AGAL needs top 6. They need to see this team make it to the finals. It was so brutal watching it at the last second. XCZ with the DBS. I thought he had it. He hit the headshot, but wasn't able to get the finish.
Okay.
Still, 11 eliminations. So they ended up getting 15 points based on that. A solid performance, but at the end of the day, this is still a close one.
The
Pandas are looking out to the audience right now. They're looking into the distance. They can see the future. And you know what? The future is bright for AGAL.
All right, well, the Pandas are going to be staring down the casters here to get things rolling. So let's get another game going here for PMWC.
All right, looking like a little magician with the flourish there. Emphasis on the little. He's a short man. Thank you very much down on the stage. You have to get your
small man with a big voice.
Yeah.
YG brother.
I don't know what you're talking about. Please, leave me alone. Oh dear, that was my imitation of a couple of our other teams, certainly in Rondo over in Tanchik.
Please, leave me alone. I don't want to fight. I want like some placements, please.
Yeah, just
If possible.
let me live. Let me live, please.
Yeah.
Oh, you did have you.
Go team were like,
No. Furia don't look too happy. The body language is looking a little bit rough. We got Yangon Galactica stats here. Sub 1,000 damage average per game. I mean, it's not like they're doing nothing. I think Yangon Galacticos have been putting up a good fight. Again, for sort of an unknown from last year to a very well known. I don't think they're doing terribly right now at PMWC whatsoever, but they would like to get to the finals at least. They got to get on the bike now, though, 100%.
absolutely, definitely something you need to try and step up towards. We said it would be a little bit of a shame if the defending champions weren't in the finals, but if you're not good enough, doesn't matter what you've done before, you need to do it now. You need to get stuck in.
ပြောနေပြီတွေ့လားမင်းတို့
South lean on it again.
လုံးလိုက်လိုက်တော့ကိုလူတွေလုံးပြလိုက်တော့
Sosnovka military base over towards the Pubgm. It is pretty nasty, isolating positions up on the northwest, and I feel like the team I'm thinking about when I think they're Alpha 7 over in North George. Where are they going to go?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think Alpha 7 should have a secondary here. We'll see exactly which one it is. Maybe eastern side potentially. Very long time ago they used to do that though. But yeah, Furia, definitely a team that's at risk right now. They're on 57 points. I know they can do more. They know they can do more. Like I said, the body language looks a little bit rough at the moment. I see a bit more energy. They might need a bit of a pep talk between match 3 and match 4. One of the teams jumping out nice and early here. Go dropping in towards Sosnovka. Hard to get towards the north side of the map. There might actually be some, not hot drops, but some contested locations for vehicles, etc.
I
I feel like there's a little grouping of players there around where the Wolves are. Geek are underneath that. The
No.
point of RRQ could potentially be a danger zone, and everybody out just northwest of Milta over towards the mansion shelter prison sort of area. There is a lot of players dropping out there, and I don't think there's that many vehicles, Blank. It's going to be tight.
Oh, so we are going back to Lipovka. Lipovka split actually for Alpha 7. Okay. They did this quite frequently, so they are going east side. Nice to see. AGA.
Lovely
circle for everyone. Honestly, this is probably
the
circle they could have gone for here. It's not fully down towards Sosnovka, but it is around the area where you want to be playing, where the playing path has been dropped to you off. So yeah, fine, just fine stuff. For Ulf, I'm going to say now, if they want to be in the top 6, we need like a second place or a high elim game, top 3, or a chicken dinner. If not, it's going to be a very hard end of the day. They're currently 14th place. You know it's bad when Kiwoom DRX is actually catching up to you. That's a problem. They've had a really rough time of it.
Okay. Yes, no
they are currently 17 points behind that bubble. So there is a real gap for them to close. But Ulf could do it. They definitely could. I mean, they're slap bang in the center of this circle. They've got a lot of time to play around with. Hopefully they can find something here. As you said, it's what they would need.
And for top 6, it's actually very kind. It's so kind. The match 6 is probably going to be comical again, where teams are going in and out from that top 6 over and over again. So we finally settle on the Chosen. Yeah, it's getting very tight knit on the leaderboards. You want to get a tight-knit grouping. Okay. How do you do that? You've got to make sure you have the Ninetales Fury Orc skin from in-game. Make sure you also pick up the Naruto set. There it is.
Oh, okay.
Teasers for a while there, but finally we got it on board. Looks pretty. But it does look pretty. It also has an alternate version as well. We're going to show me the spin. Show me the spin. No spin.
No spin. Spinless.
Spinless?
None for you. You've got to get it in game to see the ultimate.
That is really sad, actually.
Well, you win some, you lose some.
You do. But you can certainly win some lovely skins from the current Naruto event, because it is fantastic. I think it is specifically Shippuden as well.
I'm sure that means something. I'll have to get...
That's right, John.
I'll have to get Maxman on that one.
That's correct.
Generally, the things you say tend to have meaning, so I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt there.
Yeah, it's a huge event. It's a huge event. It's a huge thing in game. Just like Tsunade, it's fantastic. I'm really happy to see it. And again, I really am glad we're getting more and more of these skins in game.
You guys couldn't see it, but he literally bounced when he said
I did, yeah.
I'm so glad.
We've had everything. We've had everything so far. I can only imagine it'll continue. So big up to the Pubgm mobile team.
Oh yeah.
Please continue.
Big fan of that one. E-Arena on a wide 2-2 split right now. Well, fairly wide, I think it's safe to say, from Severny and South Georgia, although it's very much uncontested at this point. There's really no one breaking out that wide, with the main path being so far southwest early on. Southeast early on. Nobody's contesting, so they'll be able to push back fairly easily, you'd imagine. The question is direction. Do they regroup over towards Severny, or to the west side by Georgia Pole? As Ulf mount up as well. And as we said before, they need to light a bit of a firecracker underneath themselves.
That they do, John. Right now, it is a bit of a struggle bus for Ulf. They're going to grab the buggy, get a move on, but they are fairly central already. 7-2-1 GS, realistically the only team that is in front of them at the moment. Nongshim Red Force down towards that south side. It is very tight on that grouping. 49 points in 9th. I mean, honestly, even all the way down to 12th place with Yangon Galacticos on 45, it is not a major jump of 12 points to get over towards 5th place. And then it's 10 points to jump over to tie with 6th. This is all over the place right now. A lot of teams want to stay in. For AJAL, they have had a good day so far. I think if they want to solidify a little bit, you have one more strong game here, and then the rest of your day feels a little bit more comfortable. Tiamba, I think it's looking more and more unlikely that they will drop out. I think they'd like 8 more points roughly to get towards that 90-point area, and then they'll be in much better stead. And it, again, I am.
ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီမြန်မာမှာလေးဝင်ပြိုင်ဖို့အတွက်ဆိုပြီးတော့လေ qualifying ဟွာဖြစ်တာလေအဲ့ဟိုဘယ်လိုပြော qualifying ဒီမှာဒီပြိုင်ပွဲမှာပြိုင်ဖို့လေ PNWC မှာပြိုင်ဖို့အတွက်ဟိုပွဲသေးလေးပြိုင်ရသေးတာ
What we are also looking at now is confirmation gains from 2nd to 4th.
ဒါမှမဟုတ် direct invite နဲ့သူတန်းတက်သွားလား invitation နဲ့တန်းတက်သွားလား
They jump up over that 80-point boundary.
တီးတယ်ကျွန်တော်မတီးလို့မရနော်မတီးဘူးကျွန်တော်မတီးရမှာကျွန်တော်ဟိုပြန်ကြည့်ရဆိုတော့တက်မတီးရမှာပြန်ကြည့်ရပါဆိုတော့မတီးလို့မတီးလို့မရဘာသဘော
in the middle of those tables. So that is also what we're going to be looking out for those top teams to push themselves over that final hurdle. Tiamba, as you said, a little bit more up to their old tricks, I think, today, over the course of it. A little bit timid. There has been some sticky scenarios, I think it's safe to say, but still, we want to see a little bit more.
Yeah, they learned a new trick yesterday. They've forgotten it already. Like when you try and replicate one of those card tricks, you learn when you're and then everyone looks at you and laughs.
Yeah. I forgot my cards. And you're in the middle of the trick and you're like, wait a minute, I forgot all of my cards.
ခုနကိုရီမြန်မာအတင်းအဲ့ကာကြီးလေးရထားမှာအဲ့ဒါဘောက်တီးပါ
Oh wait. Just imagine it. Pretend we're doing it.
Pick a card in your mind.
Now pretend you've got the extra space. Was that your card? Yeah, we're heading over towards Dip right now. And mini Dip. Furia taking up location there. We're still waiting for Zone 2 to pop around. Slightly slower game so far here, just with the fact that we've had 2 games so far where the circles have not been egregious. This plane path was pretty bad. It was pretty bad for getting everyone across the map, but the circle was very kind on the direction that it went. It does mean that we pack a lot of teams in very early towards the center because they were so close to rotating. Teams that actually sent very wide earlier on to get themselves into position and actually can play off the back of Rozok on this one. They could even go further over towards the eastern side if they'd like, play off the bridge side. But man, there's a lot of teams on the south side right now that do need to move further towards the north. So this could be a lot of traffic jams going on, a lot of honking of the horns to try and get on through. Tiamba has a free approach though, free cut up towards that north side of the map.
Big access. Ulf as well were fairly proximate to the apartment buildings near school, so they should be able to take control maybe of some of the hills to the south, generally a fairly solid position, or maybe even sending into those apartment blocks themselves as well. Furia may be content to just sit here for a little moment longer. They are kind of fine in this zone. They're probably happy to watch AGAL and 721GS get into a little tussle off in the distance as we all
AGAL losing 2 players, 3 in fact, in quick succession. Liu there, the only player able to clap back, and it's looking very bad right now for AGAL. They are trying to maintain presence.
AGAL အဲ့ကောင်တွေပြုတ်ရအောင်အဲ့ကောင်တွေပြုတ်ဟုတ်တယ်ဟုတ်တယ် AGAL တွေပြုတ်ဟုတ်တယ်ရောက်အဲ့ကောင်တွေတေးပစီအဲ့ကောင်တွေဘာဖြစ်လဲဆိုတော့အဲ့ကောင်တွေနည်းနည်းချင်းချောက်တဲ့နေရာမှာအဲ့ကောင်တွေပြုတ်မှဖြစ်မယ်51K ရထားပြီအဲ့ကောင်တွေ58ပဲ56 58ပဲဖြစ်မှာကောင်တွေ
What a nasty turnaround there, getting
AGAL တွေပြုတ်သွားပြီလား
with 721GS.
ပြုတ်ပြီဘာမှမပြုတ်သေးရ
Who are in 15th place. When you're on that 6th place bubble right now, playing as 2 is far from favorable. But you may have been able to control such an important central position. Goodness me, what a way to lose that sort of spot. Now Fury are close by. Tianba, Ulf, all will have heard this fight unfold. And they'll be aware of what they could be able to achieve. Player numbers going down. Starting to flag. Great news for teams like Geekay. for Nongshim Red Force and RRQ to look to push past them as well.
Yeah, for Nongshim Red Force. Looking a little bit better here, moving over towards that northern side of Potato Hill, looking to regroup on this one. Both played over towards apartments, but not quite actually. They have one player inside on the south side, that's Aaron, and they're trying to secure a location outside. They don't fully commit to apartments just yet. We get this nice replay. It just was absolutely hectic. Luckily, Liu here is able to get some good damage off, try and salvage the situation. It is better to try and get himself a top 6 at least as a 2-man than trying to just live out through there. I think there's been plenty of times where AGAL has made this mistake, where they are so adamant on getting all 4 players back up again. I want to see more of this from AGAL. They're just playing on its 2, just trying to see what you can salvage from the match.
Those single-digit point games often are pretty make or break. I mean, we do focus a lot on the big point-scoring game. If you're able, and I've said this so many times, if you're able across all 12 of these matches to get 1 point more per match, you're getting 12 extra points there. It is such a significant difference to be able to play those small ball situations and get some profit out of it, because 12 points could be a difference maker in a massive way.
Okay, so it looks like actually PEL is coming to play here over towards this eastern side. Both Chinese teams in Tiamba as well as AGAL instantaneously sent for apartments. I think it's the correct send too. A lot of teams likely haven't decided on fully committing towards this location. For Tiamba, this is more of a gamble. For AGAL, it's a necessity, right? They have to send here and find a location
it's
that
okay,
teams
brother.
aren't going to be willing to sweep through, because there are so many other squads in this area and likely will be towards the end game, taking shots at one another. This is an area that AGAL can potentially secure a high placement off the back of. Maybe not a high elimination. They may be able to steal a couple of elims here and there. But yeah, I think that was a good maneuver from AGAL, because even Ulf hadn't decided whether they wanted to fully play over towards apartments just yet.
The arena over in the school as well. North side, you've got Alula and Alpha 7, who are opposing ends of Rozhok. Meanwhile, near Pachinki, Yangon Galacticos trying to take a turn around the town. With Q and DRX behind them on their south. Goat team out on the east side of Pachinki, as well as Wolves up to the north. It's fairly packed in here, so I feel like for Yangon, they may just have to crash into a fight. Maybe they could find an outpost from Alula, and that could be a really good opener here if they're able to find R3B all on his own.
This is multiple times so far. Alula found themselves very close to one another on the map. But I will say this, is that anytime that's happened, both Alula as well as Yangon tend to avoid one another. KRX getting taken down. Baton doing some very good work here, in fact. Absolutely decimated in the face of the Wolves.
RRQ similarly getting shredded as they try to make the cross. I think, yeah, RRQ now down to a solo over in the apartments as they try to dart across the fields to the south of the school. Not going to work out. As you were highlighting there as well, tried to crash past the walls and there was no quarter given. 3 of them taken down. In the meantime, Goat and crashing on the north side of Potato Hill. Into the hovercraft to keep himself safe. Some nice cover there. Moxie with an A pull for XZY as well. Back in towards that hovercraft. Can protect himself nicely from it. A lot of cover. A lot of security found, and away he goes. Goat team not able to extract anything so far.
We'll just go for the lob there for Ulf. This is looking like that game, and they are hella happy that they maintain control down towards that southern side and didn't fully commit towards the apartments there. It was a risk. It was definitely a risk where they couldn't fully control the apartments and more teams poured in. But this means now they have this southern side to play. Really like this one. Again, just trying to confirm as much area as possible because they know they need a good game and they need one soon. This is their biggest chance though, so far. We want to see a strong match coming out from Ulf. Right now, my worry is that the player who is topping the charts a lot of times of doing majority of the work is Scarface. When we sort of know from first-hand experience that Ketch
Yes,
and
of course,
Aaron
bro.
a lot of times
I'm
are the
gonna play
pistons
every
that are doing the heavy lifting for this squad. So Scarface is definitely pulling up the slack a lot, but he wants to be the player that's enabling both those teammates to really do their best work. So again, let's see if they can get some more confidence on board inside this game, John.
I'm hoping as well that they won't be too timid in this center position, right? They would love a chicken dinner, but a good Elim chicken dinner is what is necessary. It's quite easy potentially to just sit back, get a little bit shy, and not get stuck in. Sure, the apartments fights, you don't really need to be peeking out too much. You're worried a little bit about the arena, but once those fights to their south start to move forwards, I want to see them flexing something out, maybe getting stuck in, scouting those fights and trying to...
ဘာပြောလို့ပြောအာဂျူကပြုတ်တော့မယ်အာဂျူလည်းကောင်းတယ်အာဂျူလေးလည်းပြုတ်သွားတော့တကောင်မဲကျန်တော့တဆောက်ဝိုင်းတော့ KRH တာကြီးမင်းတို့စောင့်မနေနဲ့တော့အမင်းဒီတိုင်းပဲနေလိုက်တော့စောင့်ကိုမနေနဲ့တော့မင်းတို့မရတော့မင်းတို့မျောလင်းချက်ကိုမရှိတော့ငါတို့နဲ့တော့မတော်တော့ကွာနဲ့ KRH ကောင်းတယ်အဲကိုရီးယားကောင်းနေပြီလုံးဝစောင့်မနေနဲ့တော့တာကြီး
Definitely invading
Where are they
over towards their location. 200 bullets total 556.
မင်းတို့မျောလင်းချက်ကိုမရှိတော့
The Scarface. So some
တော့မျောလင်းချက်မရှိဘူးနောက်ကကြလို့အပေါ်ကရောင်းငါတို့အပေါ်ကရောင်းနေတော့လိုက်တက်
for Ulf. Hope that's not a
Sakura, you
cross the
will
board.
do.
They did get gifted a loot
တ
crate,
ကောင်
though.
တော့ဖြုတ်ပြီးခဲ့ရင်တော့မင်းတို့တော်တော်ဆို
Alpha 7 losing Revel in their rotation. And they take up post above on the top of the hill here, further south. They did move in from that north side, so losing one on this approach, not the worst thing in the world. Could have certainly gone much more poorly for them. But now they're going to have to face off against Dopeness pushing in. The south side getting crunched towards as well as Goat. Look to re-engage potentially over towards Nongshim Red Force. The apartment's resolving in the meantime across the circle, but this Goat and Nongshim standoff has been going on for a while, Blank.
Yes, it has. I mean, Nongshim's just been giving space after space after space, which I think is fair enough. They're just leading Goat further down this side, waiting for him to silhouette over. Goat knows what's happening here, but it is making it awkward for them to play out of Potato Hill. But I like the patience on side from Nongshim Red Force. I know there really isn't anyone around right now to cause them too many problems, so they can just play this one out slowly. Next circle coming on through as Alpha 7 is on the move. Ulf still very pleased with their position.
ဆက်ဆက်ပဲချင်းဆောက်မှာလေကျွန်တော်ကဒီဥစားပြီးဆောက်မှာလေဒီဥစားပြီးတော့
on the rotate here, you can see from the eastern side, Ulf may have visitors.
The south side needs to conclude as well. Dopeness getting straight into the middle here. I don't think this is a safe place to be right now, but somehow they're sneaking through the sight lines and nobody's taking shots. How on earth did Dopeness manage to do that? And where are they going? Are they trying to third party this fight with Nongshim Red Force and Goat Team? How on earth do they rock up to this fight? And what is going to happen here? Nongshim Red Force caught unawares, and rightly so, because this is absolutely mental. Lufa goes down and Nongshim Red Force trying to hold face, but they just appeared out of nowhere.
I understand it. I understand it. We'll go over it.
AGA လေးပြုတ်သွားပြီ okay အဲ့တော်တော်ချင်းကောင်းပါ AGA လေးပြုတ်သွားပြီအဲ့ဒါကောင်းတယ်နော်ဘူးသင်ကထက်တက်တော့မှာအမှတ်ကရအောင်ကြီးဘူးကထက်တက်တော့မှာဘူးကငါးကောင်ထက်ရထားပြန်ပြီAGA ပြုတ်သွားပြီဘူးသင်ကကောင်းကြီးကျန်သေးတယ်
For Dopeness,
AGA ရဲ့0ဖြစ်သွားတာတော့မဟုတ်ဘူးနော်ဟိုကတော့ဖြစ်သွားတာ
I mean, what they do is they just try and rotate across. They have no information. Okay, I'll be honest, they have no information, and they just try and make something work on the other side of some kind of rotate. It's a massive gamble, which obviously doesn't pay off. I just haven't seen it be done as outrageously as that before.
I mean, with Alula, Ulf, Alpha 7,
all
in position to look to take shots at them. The fact that they got through with big HP bars as well, Blank, is insane to me. And for Nongshim Red Force to go down there, I feel sorry for them. Because I also expect that.
It was an outrageous play, right?
Yeah.
I know why they did it. It doesn't make it any less outrageous.
The Wolves are now on 8 elims though for it. GK trying to survive against Yangon Galacticos.
Yeah, အကြီးကတော့AR ရောမသိဘူးလို့လေနော်အားရောင်ဘာတော့ဟာကိုမီကိုတော့သွားပြီလို့ငါဝိုင်းကြီးကသွားပြီတကောင်မဲကြံတော့ပြန်ပြီလို့ငါစိတ်ညစ်တယ်ကြီးခေဘာလာလောက်တာလေလို့လစ်ပြီးနေတူတယ် 哎呀，把我踢断了
to the north, and they're
踢断了
facing off against the
啊，
route
裂
out
断
of
了。
apartments for Tiamba.
Tiamba able to clear out
你看楼前那楼着，没发现楼前那楼着。
towards AGL earlier.
啊，我 clear 去了后头边 ，clear 你要不？你要听嘛？clear 你要不？
Very, very pleased to see it. They pretty sure they figured out that Tiamba only had 2 players. Tiamba figured out AGL only had the 2 players there and were just quick to send over. I think they found Liu first and then Flower H came shortly afterwards. It's a difficult game there for Alpha 7 as well because it was an insane shot as well. It's like you didn't see it, but it came through from Flower H inside of apartments as Revo was rotating. Like, I actually genuinely feel bad for Revo. I'd be upset if I got hit by that one. But they're just going to play it slow from the eastern side. They know at this point they have done quite a good job today. They just want to keep the point scoring up. They know they're not in the best position to get a chicken dinner on this game, so they're looking for high placements. Alula continue to take damage here, and Ulf's position becomes more and more secure. This circle, on the other hand, fairly disgusting.
Yeah, it's
来回
pretty
这种
nasty.
来，
That
都拿歪
slope
拿
down
背里面了，
towards
膝盖那面了
apartments.
，K
Major
M 地
feature
板来
on
里
that
面
north
了。
side. Ulf potentially pretty happy.
K M 地板来里面
Face the
了。
brunt of Furia, Wolves, and probably Alpha
来跳
7 here.
这竟然骗出来比
On
嘛
the
样
eastern side, they're just going to have to hope that these teams face off against each
俺们
other
干离婚
first
南京面
and
是
try and take the
超
fight
特
back.
别到一个。
The Wolves losing 1 is good news, but in their stead, GK step up
像俺们
as
老
they
那种挂
rotate on the Rap South.
TK started out strong yesterday. Still maintained a fairly decent point scoring.
对他来讲，用现在那么对哇，还是
And
没
another
可能。
team that absolutely has it in them to make it work. Likely will, after this game, leapfrog over the top of AGAL.
老背
Wolves
K
have
M
the
地来想
potential
嘛
to
样
leapfrog even further.
，K 关你来想嘛样，K 关你没想没这着。
Some big teams in the top
现在压
6
力
going
比较
down early. Goat and AGAL. Goat on 66, probably okay to
这
stay
边
in
压
the
呀，
top
我
6
看得上
after
俺
this
们呀
one，blank.
今天老师都不讲哇。
Real nasty stuff on the south side.
This guy,
The
yeah, I'm
arena
gonna-
rolling out fast though from school. They're trying to descend on GK.
Well,
It's
I'm
not
telling
going
you,
well.
boy,
They don't have much more left in the tank
Well,
here.
we
It's
might
another
have
one
more,
of the
yeah,
balls,
I'm
and the arena are
Who's
cut
the
down to
attack
size.
that?
They
I'm
will
not
fall
talking
in their
about.
entirety, and GK once again prove their mettle.
To be fair, Arena sort of just watched that happen to them, though. I
Oh,
think there's a
I am
massive
about
amount of clapback coming on.
Oh,
Ulf finding shots over towards the south side. Aaron picking up some good shots there. Tiamba once again hits a shot over towards Alpha 7, leaving one low, and Carrillo QZZ will finish that off. So right now, fortunately for Alpha 7, they have been sort of decimated by the Chinese squads in tandem. But it is a hard rotate for them out from that eastern side. Tiamba still looking to grab the remnants of players coming out from apartments. They control this area beautifully, perfectly. And for Tiamba, this likely will be the game that just secures their top 6 going forward.
Again, it's Ulf. They are being quiet. I said I wanted to see a little bit more flex out coming through from these guys. They are holding their position. They're holding it well. And maybe given the shape of the circle, they did need to stay in. But they are now only on 2 eliminations. And they are starting to be dragged away by the rest of the rosters here. Wolves, Ulf, trying to trade off against the fights towards Furia. And that's where they start to gain momentum. Okay, 3 elims. Another knock on side as well. Tiamba starting to step forwards. Let's get you up towards those double-digit elims, Ulf.
Awkward result here, though, for Ulf at the moment. They are struggling to step up, to take the shots over towards Tiamba, because Ayala keeps taking some fantastic shots from upside the hill. But honestly, Ulf's doing a good job of maintaining control here. RQ moving in. A-King looking to get his boy back up again within the safety of the building. Pulls the pin. The grenade might have been good there, but puts the pin back in again. And then hits the sound cue. Aaron goes down towards
Okay,
the
video what?
ABM,
no? You can't be making an aid like that. That's not going to go in through the window.
I
I feel like there's some panic setting in here for Enkin. Yeah, I don't see him making it out of this one. In the meantime, over in the zone, Furia and Tiamba now forced to fight off against one another. A knock over towards Chief, but it's traded onto Milu. And a nade does manage to shut down the final play from RQ in the meantime. Tiamba do not have the pressure to move forwards. They were stuck in that engagement. But Milu potential to get back up here, depending on how fast Tiamba move. Ulf starting to step over the ridgeline as Gike take that tumble on the western side, down to 1.
Gike attempting to make that move. We've got pretty much blown away by the likes of Wolves, and Wolves continue to step forward. Wolves who've had such a rough time of it this tournament, starting to step up tall here. And again, most of the times we've seen that happen, there has been much more team play at work at the moment. Yeah, they are a little bit slow at times, but at least they're getting the aggression in. And when they go for these third parties, they go for it together. That's what's been so nice to see. That disconnect between the players isn't there as much. Feels like they're not getting in their heads as much. This is really good stuff. Tiamba finally shut down here, but hit the 19-point mark, and they should be safe going forward.
A top 6 fairly guaranteed for them. Last person alive for Furia. Ayala crawling his way forwards with the cover of the crate. Has to step forward, step up. And manages to dart to cover, but he's not safe yet. Still has a further distance to go. A nade over the top. Looking to launch it towards Ulf. Do they spot it? Do they dodge it? Looks good. It splits the difference. Doesn't quite do enough damage to really worry Ulf at all. And Ayala's position definitely known now. One nade on site for Solus. And Ulf are starting to feel the pressure of the blue zone.
Yeah, good split from Wolves as well. With the fights they took, they were fairly certain that both the north and the southern edge on the western side are free. So they're ensuring both the high ground and the low ground aren't getting pushed on right now. They just want to squeeze the life out of these teams on the eastern side. Ulf wants to clean up as fast as they can. Alula is a problem in the future. Ayala is a problem right now.
There's a Molotov and a second one to follow it up. Ayala wants to step in and try and take some shots. Catches up to the red flag. They should be able to spot him now. They know where that one came from. Follow the flames back to their source, and Ketch shuts it out now. Can Ulf convert, because the zone moves completely away from them, and Alula are under threat from Wolves as well.
Ulf, in terms of weaponry, in terms of utility, it all looks pretty bad right now. Very, very shoddy. Some nades still available. The Scarface opens up onto R3P. Now's the time to do this. Wolves haven't quite started to move out just yet. They'll see that not going through. They need to finish this fight very quickly. The rest of Wolves start to move in. That looks good. Alula goes down. No knocks on the side of Wolves just yet, and they haven't regrouped. Scarface has one grenade. It has to be huge. Looks on target. Doesn't hit though.
Doesn't quite get around the trunk of the tree, but Ulf step into the zone. Catches flexing back out. Looking to get some information, get some scouting done. With the crates underneath Alula, they may be able to get a little bit of resupply going, but look at the state of the armor on side for Ulf. It is not looking pretty. A 3 versus 4. And we said we wanted to see a chicken dinner come through from this squad. A nice Elim chicken dinner. If they can take all 4 down, it would be a 12 Elim chicken dinner, giving them 22 points on the match. It would be the game that they were looking for. But they have already found it, even with this second place, to put them back in the running.
It is curious right now, though, because with the players down the south side, they actually smoked themselves entirely off. They've actually just smoked the middle. They're going to finish vision over towards Ulf for the moment. Baton Elementrix will get pushed out by the blue.
Key point นี่จะเว้ย10ကောင်ကျော်လောက်လိုက်တတ်နိုင်မယ်ဆိုရင်
Still got vehicles to work with.
ရှိသေးတယ်နော်
Can launch the
เว้ย
ball towards the
10ကောင်ကျော်လောက်လိုက်တတ်
over
နိုင်မယ်
here,
ဆိုရင်
if needs be.
ဖြစ်နိုင်တယ်
But you are giving 3v2s right now.
Potential to isolate those sight lines. But the smokes are starting to run thin, and the nades on side for Wolves are terrifying. With 11 eliminations already, they want to go up to 14. Ulf trying to scavenge whatever they can, picking the meat off the bones of those crates.
Oh, cheeky spot actually, very cheeky spot to work with. Nate goes forward, has to be good here. This has to be the opener, and there it is. Sent long and wide, there's a shot underneath. The 3 versus 2s are coming through. That's an angle taking off. He has to go for the reds now. Ulf knows that they need to get these first aid kits going through towards Elementrix ASAP. They know the smoke is in play. The peak probably won't come through here. Solus, make sure that they have to keep focus on that res underneath. Elementrix takes a lot of damage. And Ulf is making it work. Wolves, I just think the regroup has to come through sooner. Solus is literally taking the Wolves right now.
And there they go! Down go the Wolves, and Ulf claim the chicken dinner, the 2-2 split exploited. A big nade, the bottom of the barrel scraped bare. And Ulf dig deep.
But you can see it's not elation on their faces. They know today this is just the first step of many if they want to get towards the top 6 right now. But it's a good game. It's a strong game. They play it out well with limited resources. With singular grenades, they pull out what felt very difficult towards the end of that game. And for Wolves, it's just sort of a confusing approach. I understood at the start, but as soon as you have information,
ကျွန်တော်ပြောသလို key point မှမရရင်မရတော့
have the slight plateau. Why are we
မျှော်လင့်ချက်မရှိတော့
ourselves up
နောက်ထပ် 3 ပွဲပဲကျန်တော့
Why are we denying sightline?
key point ရမယ် chicken တပွဲလောက်တော့ရ
Two separate two-man teams. Very odd. Very, very odd.
I mean, getting into nade range was the mistake in the
chicken
end.
3 ပွဲရရင်တော့မရတော့
And they just did not have the crossfires established for themselves. The Wolves
အဲ chicken 3 ပွဲရရင်တော့နည်းနည်းမျှော်လင့်ချက်ရှိတယ်ပေါ့
Really did.
and then they just stopped playing as soon as Circle 8 hit.
And
3 ပွဲလုံး chicken ဆိုတော့မျှော်လင့်ချက်ရှိတယ်
There's actually plenty of time. If you watch this back, there's plenty of time for the Wolves to set up closer towards the center zone. And if you take that two,
deep place time
grabbed over towards some trees, set themselves up so they weren't open to the angles. A strange game from Wolves. Strange game. I will say that Wolves definitely had a slight advantage there.
gameplay
They
near
still
Lamnes
had the
Akila.
shack in play and had a fairly fearsome position to continue to reset off the back of. But yeah, definitely curious. I mean, there was a lot more time in that game for Wolves to make further decisions, make further pushes. As Alula goes down, I think you have to be scrambling the third party that. That was your big chance there. And still a bit mad props to Ulf. They knew they had to finish out that fight with Alula instantaneously if they wanted a chance versus Wolf in the future.
I mean, getting that knock with the nade around the so big for them at the start.
Absolute banger.
But the conversion on a knock downhill was what clinched it for them. Because that kept those sightlines tight in. There was no chance for the Wolves to step up.
You take all the guns away from them at that point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was an incredible shot, and I think that honestly, if you are on the south side there, you have to play super passive, basically tiny peeks over the top, spraying over towards them, but not playing with your life. That's the problem they ran into. As soon as they could get Batten back up again, because he had time to walk over towards crawl over towards the tree to get rezzed again. But you're right, as soon as it was a very easy game from Wolf there on forward.
Forced out by that final zone as well. The
Someone
stage
pressure
lines
me
are
out.
closing quite a lot here.
We'll
I feel
see.
like teams are
See,
really
that's what I meant to
dragging it
do,
down
anyway.
to the wire, but we still have 3 more matches to play. We finished the first half of today. 1 more Erangel is up on the cards. Don't go anywhere.
Bakit dah?